I've had. I had Taylor Swift last week, the Elimination Chamber the other day.
Yeah, Taylor Swift fresh off the Super Bowl.
Dude, she is incredible. Everyone at work's like, "Oh, did you get forced to go by your wife?" I'm like, "What? Why would I waste a ticket if I didn't want to go?"
Well, I suppose it's just a bit of a meme of like, oh, well, do tough guys go to see Taylor Swift? But you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, what is it? Isn't it what your favorite film is? High School Musical?
No, it's Back to the Future, but
that's right. Yeah. I think Carla said that to us when we were over there, but she probably forgot.
That's why I wanted the DeLorean from Alex, which I still haven't built.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Back to the Future is much better than High School Musical, to be honest.
I have this as well. Dad got me this for Christmas.
Wow, that's great.
I need to put it up in the garage.
Yeah. Anyway, we're live.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I know. We it's actually a bit of a meme that we start these things just mid conversation. It's funny. I'm gonna share around. I'm gonna go downstairs because I've got food there. Then I'll come back up and then we'll actually start talking.
All right.
Yeah, can't believe it. 5 a.m. I don't know if I could do that for a video. That's a lot of commitment.
Yeah, you'd sleep in.
Carla was like, "Why are you getting up? What are you doing tomorrow with the laptop?" And I was like, Connor does this thing.
You make it sound like I'm special or something.
Couldn't pass it up.
Elimination Chamber review time. I think the earliest I've gotten you to wake up, Callum, was probably 6:30.
Yeah.
It was for one of the Marvel ones. I can't remember which one. I mean, you were eating cereal. It was
probably when, because we did. I think we did Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man Homecoming back to back.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds like the one we did.
Might be that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I remember I got so ill after that.
Yep. Yeah, you were bedridden during the Black Panther review.
Yeah.
We talked about like 40 minutes and we just went right through it.
I had the most. That was the same week as second to last Game of Thrones episode. I was bedridden. I was so ill. It's like one of the most annoyingly sick times I'd ever been. I was like 2 straight weeks of fever and just awful. And then the after effects, I had like 2 years of gastro issues after that illness. I had to fix with pills. Oh, it was awful. And then the very next year, COVID started, and I was just like, well, I know what that feels like. I tell you, the sickness I had in 2019 was so much worse than COVID. I was actually like, wow, COVID's not even that bad compared to it. Or at least for me. All right, I'm going to be back soon.
We're currently live. He's turned on the stream. We're currently live, and we're waiting on Connor. Fantastic.
Oh, Connor. Typical. Like when we played wrestling, we did a rumble. He comes in, gets eliminated, goes to his house for like 50 minutes.
He told me this story. Yeah, he told me this story offline.
Comes back and then gets back in the rumble and wins it. Bastard.
Oh, fucking Roman Reigns over here.
He held the title forever. He wasn't given the title to anybody else.
That is pure. That is 2015 Roman Reigns in a nutshell.
I think
booked the LPW, kept the title for himself.
Yeah, I was WCWing that. I think I've held the belt longer than San Martino had the WWE title on his first reign. Because I won it in 2015, which is It's pretty much exactly 9 years ago because it was February. So I've had it for 9 years, and San Martino's first reign was 7 years.
The amount of people at the show that had title belts, like the expensive, nice-looking ones. Oof.
I should probably fill out my water as well. Sorry.
Because they were selling them in the city at this massive pop-up merch store.
Ugh.
Gonna see the sun come up in a minute, I think.
I was gonna say the title belts are expensive, but then I remembered. I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, Australia's job market's actually really strong.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously the money here is better, so that's probably why so many people had them.
Yeah, the wages are way higher there than they are here.
Because they're about at the shop they're about $7.50, which is how much they are on the store. But then you got to get them shipped here. So
that's why so
if
many
you were
people
buy
move.
one. That was the time to buy them.
That's why so many people move to Australia so they can earn more.
I actually literally talked about that with my family the other day.
Yeah, because you're half Australian, so you actually.
On my mum's side, yeah, I've me and my because my brother was over for the weekend because obviously he works for the army. We were like talking about like 5-10 years time, the likelihood of him move to Australia. He's very certain he will do it, and then I guess for me, I probably will do it in the next 5-10 years.
There's lots of bombs here.
Well,
I think I looked up. There's like 1.1 million Brits in Australia.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's just Kiwis and Poms everywhere.
Kiwis and Poms.
It would be funny, like, yeah, if I imagine me and Connor will, I don't know, maybe we will be making content in 5 years' time still.
Who knows? I mean, it's been 5 years.
It has actually. It's been 5. It's probably past 5 years at this point. Because did we start? Was it late January or early February?
Well, okay. So the thing is that when we started the Iron Man 1 review, it was the amount of MCU films in the first 3 phases that many days before Endgame came out. So we did 1 per day on average, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we didn't miss a day, didn't we?
Well, we did, but we doubled up to make up for it. You know.
Was it the Doctor Strange one, or was that something else?
No. So we missed literally day 2 because you couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so getting way off track here.
I have no idea how we did that. Honestly, trying to do that now would be a fucking nightmare.
Well, I mean, I would say this, Callum. If there's any likelihood in the world that one day we ever do a video in person, it's because we've both moved to Australia to earn money.
Or I move to Australia and make money and fly to New Zealand. I think that's the most likely thing. I mean,
because I'm not flying to the UK.
And if we ever do it, it has to be you just sitting in a chair, and there's another chair there, and then I walk in. That's the way we do it. That is the way we do it.
Yeah, but it'll be similar vibe to
the issue with that is maybe people would be hyped up that it's someone else in particular, and then there's just but that would still be very funny.
Well, I think the long-time subscribers of the channel will be more hyped for Jake Hanley than they would be for you, to be honest.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
I think that's fair.
If Jake and Adam ever return to this channel, it would be the strangest thing. Anyway, we're getting fucking exceedingly off track. We're here to review Elimination Chamber 2024 from Perth. And
Australia?
Yes, I have a couple of things to say at first. Firstly, we have Regan, who was supposed to be on the predictions, but you were busy in Melbourne seeing Taylor Swift, so you couldn't.
Yes, unfortunately.
So you missed out on your chance to challenge for the belt. And because of that, after how many months it's been since August, since SummerSlam, when I won the belt, I've had my long 7 to 8 month reign. I've finally fallen on the sword.
It's about time.
And new predictions champion.
Yep. 2-time champion now you are.
2-time.
Well, I'll be here for them. I'll be here for the Mania prediction, so don't you worry.
Yeah, are we gonna make we're gonna make you a? Well, I mean, to be fair, I could literally win it next week after AEW Revolution. You could be a 1 week transitional champion.
Again.
Yep.
Because I didn't hold it for long the first time. It was like
no, you didn't. You
one or
you
two
won it
weeks
at
later.
Money in the Bank, right? You won it at Money in the Bank, and then you lost it at SummerSlam 1 month later.
Yep.
So, do you want to talk about the press conference? Did you guys watch that, or do you want to start straight with the show?
No, I didn't actually. You should talk about that because you were actually there in person.
Yeah, that press conference was nuts. We were there. I was there about an hour before it started, and everyone just started. Everyone was getting bored. Everyone started chanting as they do. Everyone was going nuts for Michael Cole, chanting for this, that, and the other. They started singing.
Well, from what you told me, the Aussie crowd has some similarities to the UK crowd. It's the Commonwealth connection.
Dom's a wanker. They were singing for Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah,
that was
sad.
nice. Then it was about 5 minutes before it started, and it was bloody hot, and everyone started. We want sunscreen. So Triple H walks out onto the stage. It was 35,
what was the temperature
36,
like there?
I think.
Oh, Jesus.
So that was the hottest day of the weekend. And yeah, chanting for We Want Sunscreen. Triple H walks out onto the stage. Bottle of sunscreen. All right, you've all got to share it. Throws it off into the crowd. Turns around and walks off. And I was like, oh my God, it's Triple H.
Yes,
you mean Paul Triple H Levesque, actually, as he's now billed.
Why do they call him that? Because he's official. Because he is a company guy.
That's right. I mean, you've got a tattoo.
He's always.
You have a tattoo of Triple H's logo on your shoulder blade, don't you?
Yes, I do. So seeing him alone was worth it. Then what happened? Oh, Cole and Graves came out, and obviously Grayson came out.
Yeah, Aussie.
Michael Cole said, "Did you hear?" Michael Cole said it took a month for the Elimination Chamber to get to Perth because of pirates.
That was
that's
one
right.
we talked about online. Yes,
because of
very funny.
It's
pirates.
You know what it was? I saw a meme. You know, remember those old piracy ads? Like you wouldn't steal a television. It was like you wouldn't steal a chamber.
The Elimination Chamber.
You wouldn't steal 10 tons of steel.
So it nearly didn't get to Perth. So they would have had the pay-per-view without the chamber.
You wouldn't steal 10 tons of steel.
Imagine the panic. Imagine the panic.
So they had to. It was supposed to go through the Suez Canal, pirates. So it went back to Miami, across to Los Angeles, down to Sydney, and on a train to Perth.
You wouldn't steal 10 tons of steel. You wouldn't steal 2 miles of chain.
It was great, yeah. And then Seth Rollins came out, and the crowd went nuts. They were all just singing his song, like the whoa, that would for ages, and he was just, and it was great. They were talking in character, out of character. Cody wasn't.
I think one of my favorite moments from the press conference was Logan coming out and just absolutely the banter between him, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Actually,
dude, he did so well. Like everyone's eating it up. Like he was like, I'd rather be stuck in the middle of the ocean than in this place.
Yeah, that's right.
Took me 30 hours to get here.
You saw Logan Paul in person. That's crazy.
Yeah. He was like, it took me 30 hours to get here. He's like, this place is a dump. I told them to go to Sydney. Even Taylor Swift went to Sydney. And then he started beefing.
Kevin's comment on
beefing with KO.
Yeah, Kevin's comment on to Randy, he's like, "While you've been injured for nearly 2 years, this guy got into our industry somehow."
Yeah. Yeah, he started
So
beefing
fun.
with KO, and then Randy and Triple H pulled them apart. The girls came out, Bianca and Becky and Tiffany, and everyone just went nuts for Tiffany. They didn't care about the other two. It was just the whole time. It was just, it's Tiffy time the whole time.
You know
the
what's
crowd
crazy
loved
about
her.
that? You know what's crazy about that? Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch have been established stars for about Bianca about 5 years, Becky about 10 years. Tiffany Stratton has been in NXT for all of her run except for like the last month or two.
Yeah, no one gave a damn about those two. It was all Tiffy.
Yeah, she's super over.
Then what happened? Triple H came out.
No, I mean, I think what really elevated her though is last year Becky Lynch went to NXT for a bit and won the belt off Tiffany, and they had a feud. That's what got everyone to notice her.
Yeah, but Connor, Becky's like insanely overpushed. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. That's what people are saying online. It's a load of bullshit.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Triple H came out. He said, "Oh, sorry, Cody can't be here. Sing his theme song for him." So the whole crowd did that.
That was fun.
And that was cool. They probably didn't show. Maybe they didn't show the part. The crowd messed it up. He was like, "Sing the song."
No, they showed it. Yeah.
Oh, they showed it, and they did it in they did it out of time. They did it twice. Oh, true. Yeah. And then he's like, "Let's do that again." And then it ended with Nia and Mommy coming out.
Yeah.
I
really like the aspect. It's one of the things I did like about this whole program with Ripley and Jax is the fact that Nia is originally from Australia. She was born
she's
in
from
Australia,
Sydney, but no one cared.
She turned it on her head because obviously then she moved to America. She said, "Yeah, my parents were smart moving away from this dump."
He's like, "Yeah, I'm glad your parents did take you to America." So that was awesome. And then it ended with her and Grayson Waller doing a shoey.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, her and Grayson Waller did the shoey.
And that's how it ended. And then I think if you'd paid for a certain pass for the chamber, you got to go to the pub behind where the press conference was, and I think you got to sit down and meet them, or get a photo and stuff with them.
That's cool.
That was if you paid for the package. But that was it for Friday, and then come Saturday, 52,000, 590 people or something in the Optus Stadium.
You reckon this is one of the first times? I feel like this might be one of the first times WWE's actually given a real number, because usually they fudge them.
That was a real number.
It certainly looked like a real number.
No, it was. I saw so many people complaining online, like there was all that one space where there was no seats, and it was like, yep, that's because if there's a fire or emergency, there has to be a way for people to get out. So all the people complaining online saying you could have had more seats.
No, but they didn't fill it out. It's a massive failure.
Yeah, WWE's in the mud. They don't make any money.
And someone circled the areas where there were no people, and they circled the top of the stadium where the roof isn't. Like, no one was sitting here.
Yeah, they did that with All In as well. It's like, oh, there's this big square behind the hard camera. I'm like, yeah, obviously, because that's where the crew have to work, you idiot.
Well, and there was also everything behind where the entrances and stuff were obviously not seated, because you wouldn't have seen anything.
You'd be obstructed.
So yeah, I got there before the kickoff show, and people were just chilling. They had a DJ and everything. Then the kickoff show. Were those three in Perth? I couldn't tell. Or were they in the States? I don't know. When Peter Rosenberg and those guys, I couldn't tell if they were in.
I think they'll be in their studios in America.
Yeah,
they do that
every they had Byron, but Byron was here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like the WrestleMania press event where they were actually there, like in front of the stage.
So that happened. The kickoff match. I mean, Indy got a good pop. So
yeah. So I guess we should start talking about the show that we actually watched.
So did you see the kickoff show, or are we going straight to the main card?
I watched the kickoff show.
Yeah, I did see it. I saw it after. I had to in the morning after I went back to it and saw it. As per usual with these things, they had a heck ton of video packages and
adverts
sitting on a table. So
the adverts were good
by the network.
Yeah, by the network. About half an hour in, though, we got a promo from The Rock saying that he would make magic happen and appear in Perth, which didn't happen. He said he would do it. Yeah, he said he would do it if Cody mentioned his name, and he did, and he didn't appear.
Yeah, everyone thought he was going to be there, but
no. We knew for a long while him and Roman were not going to one of the biggest shows of the year in terms of size of crowd. No, but they weren't.
Well, I think what I heard was that it was already sold out, so why would they need to be there? That's kind of what they said.
Yeah, right.
If the show had only sold 30,000, they probably would have advertised them to be on it. But they didn't need to.
Yeah, they didn't need them there.
Yeah, which actually, to be honest,
that match was good.
To be honest, though, that kind of shows the power of WWE's draw right now. That they don't actually need they don't need the biggest names on the show.
No, that's what people were saying. They were like, "This is why they need to go international more, because people are gonna want it. It's gonna sell out."
Yeah, because people just want to see the brand itself, regardless.
Because I'm sure when it went to London, it sold out.
I mean, people were disappointed that CM Punk got pulled from the show, but that's that was just a freak accident.
He got injured. Yeah. So
imagine, I don't know if either you saw the card that was originally meant to be. If a lot of things went their way, we were going to have Bronson Reed against Seth Rollins for the world title. If Seth didn't get injured. Obviously, Punk would have been in the chamber, and
Brock versus Dom.
And obviously, Brock Lesnar versus Dom Mysterio.
Yeah,
so
and
that would have been a squash match.
Probably, yeah.
Oh yeah. It would have been 3 minutes tops. But we had the women's tag team match on the pre-show, and I imagine the reason why they added this is because Indy Hartwell's from Australia, so they get a bit of a home crowd reaction.
When they added it at the press conference, and Grayson said Indy Hartwell, the crowd just went nuts. So
yeah, she's obviously already babyface, but because Australian, it adds a extra hometown, sort of feel to it.
So she got a nice pop walking out.
She did, yeah. But in terms of predictions, I think both me and Callum were pretty despite being hometown, the Kabuki Warriors will win this. I think the Damage Control storyline is much more I think we've said this, that the SmackDown women's division has a lot more depth than the Raw one, and especially when it comes to the tag team side of it, a lot of the Raw women's tag teams are just kind of floundering and not really doing much, whereas on the SmackDown side, they actually are a lot more active.
I mean, I knew the girls weren't going to win. I figured there were going to be no title changes on that show.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of most people's biggest sort of, I don't know if complaint's the right word, but sort of
and it wasn't a show before Mania, so I can't imagine they were going to change titles.
Well, and it has happened in the past, but just not too recently.
Probably because it's not in the States, so they don't want to.
Well, to be fair, you say that, but there were title changes on the Saudi Arabia Elimination Chamber when Vince was around. But Vinnie Mac is a different beast when it comes to booking. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, Triple H is doing a hell of a job.
And actually, Vince is a bit of a beast when it comes to quite a few things, to be honest. Given some of the recent...
Let's not.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
All right. So if we move on to the main card.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, Callum, do you want to give your thoughts on this pre-show match?
I actually I was watching a certain YouTube group reaction to it at the same time for at least the first couple of matches. I didn't watch it all in one go. I had to do other stuff during the day. But I actually did enjoy this match. I thought it was perfectly fine. Thought it was serviceable, and good crowd interactions, obviously, for the home country girl. Yeah, I actually thought this was actually pretty decent for a tag match.
Yeah, I think
I don't think it doesn't really do anything for them in the long run, and I think on Raw they had some sort of thing on digital online that wasn't actually on the show, but they talked. I think they had. I guess there's some sort of story they're going to have with those two going forward. So hopefully some good comes out of it. But yeah, I thought this was a perfectly fine kickoff tag match.
one thing I have to say, I don't know much of the biology behind it, so maybe I'm not equipped to talk about it. But I remember quite a few years ago when Brie Bella got pregnant and had a child and then came back to wrestling. It impacted her athleticism a bit, like her center of gravity lowered, and it meant that she couldn't do suicide dives the same way. And I thought, okay, maybe that's just a normal thing. Like once you've been pregnant, it changes your body chemistry, the way you can wrestle. Candice LeRae has had a baby, and she's exactly the same, pretty much.
I imagine it affects every woman differently.
Yeah, probably.
You know, pregnancy is a very complicated thing.
I suppose so. But what I would say about it is that Candice LeRae seems to not really have been impacted by it at all.
No, she seems totally as good as she normally is.
Yeah. I mean, she gets a lot of height on that lion salt, I've noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kairi Sane still the best elbow drop in the business to end the match.
Yep.
And watching it in person, yeah, it's just so good. All you can hear from where I was sitting was them hitting the mat, and it just, I don't know if you hear that as well on the camera.
No, you hear it.
Yeah, you do hear it.
When I was at All In at Wembley, I was pretty much on the bottom part, not on the floor, but on the regular seats they have in Wembley, on the bottom one near the back. I could still hear the mat whenever there was a big move, big slam. Like I remember when MGF hit Cole with hit a Canadian Destroyer, and you could hear it. It's like even when you're quite far away, and hell, I could even hear Max shouting at the end of that show. I can slightly hear him shouting. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it feels always so weird when you're there and there's no commentary as well.
Oh, that was so strange.
It was such a unique experience.
Yeah, it really is.
To go to a big show like that.
Yeah, I mean, because we've all been to like indie shows or house shows before, where the commentary isn't necessarily a big part of it. But when you go to a show
it's not the same feel, it's not the same environment.
Yeah, when you go.
When you go to a show,
you don't really need the commentary at a house.
When you go to a show like this, though, that is actually designed to be a TV presentation with commentary, it's quite odd not having it.
Yes, it is. Very strange, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Because I'm going to the UK event here. WWE are coming to the UK. I think if I just check the date, but sometime in April, like probably late April, for a house show.
That's usually that's usually
they go on tour after Mania, don't they?
They usually do. Yeah, that's usually their time to go.
Yeah, I'll just quickly check. But yeah, I'm going to a show that they're doing in the O2, which I think it is a house show.
Well, I remember
19th April.
I mean, they might do some TV there because Regan, you remember back in 2013 when a few weeks after WrestleMania 29, they went to the UK. That was the time when it was the Shield versus the Brothers of Destruction and Daniel Bryan, and there was that Dean Ambrose Undertaker match on SmackDown. It was weird.
Oh yeah,
they just wrestled on TV. And then the other thing was that Fandango got really over in the UK because they kept singing a song.
It's same with the UK. I generally think the UK is, and I'm not saying this as a bar. I generally do think this. I think the UK audience, in terms of wrestling, UK audience is the best in the world. I don't think anybody's close. Yeah. I think Australia's very good. I think they proved it.
I'd say Toronto's pretty close.
Toronto's very good. I think the UK is,
and Chicago as well. Chicago can be really good
because
too.
The UK, they're also very good. I think because the UK is such a because it's football sports and are so big here. there's that link of when you're also a wrestling fan. Most people I imagine are wrestling fans are also sports fans.
What about Puerto Rico? What about Puerto Rico?
Oh, Puerto Rico. Oh, they're also that show was the reactions during that show were insane.
Yeah, Backlash. Carlito's pop at Backlash was crazy.
Yeah. Thankfully, with the original song he had, but that's been changed since.
They've changed. They always do that. They bring them back with their really good song and then they just change it. Why do they do that? It pisses me off. They did it with Naomi recently.
I actually don't mind Naomi's new theme.
That's fine, but it's just the original one was perfect. Why'd you get rid of that?
I'm amazing.
Anyway, so more ads, more interviews, bit of LA Knight. And then we get to the main card. Yeah.
You know what's so fucking funny? The group I was watching was Cultaholic, and Adam Pacitti cannot do the yeah. He can't do it. He's like, yeah. He's
well,
like,
probably
so
because
fucking weird.
It's probably because Adam Pacitti's really nasally. He just doesn't have the right voice for it.
You need to.
No disrespect to him. No disrespect to him, but when it comes to Cultaholic, I usually don't watch his videos because I just find his voice really grating.
No.
Not just
he
that,
had a
also,
very strange take.
Also, his delivery as well.
Later. Yes, he doesn't think LA Knight is as popular as he is, and while his initial pop when he came out wasn't massive, there was still LA Knights that would be fucking loud.
He was still over.
I guess you can.
That was
I guess you can. Yeah,
what I would say about LA Knight though is that he's not the most over guy in the company like he was like 6 months ago. But he's still over. He's still like,
he's still over. Oh yeah, he's still over.
He's still really.
And once
over.
you get closer to Mania, and we get to Mania, he's gonna be fucking over as hell.
Yeah. One thing I've liked about what they've done since Triple H took over is that at the start of a pay-per-view, they'll show the wrestlers walking into the arena earlier in the day.
Oh, I love how Kevin Owens walked in with a koala.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was.
Everyone was like, so "Where did he get the koala from?"
Of course he has a koala because he's Kevin Owens.
He just walked in with a koala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just that guy.
I love Kevin Owens. He's so good.
He's hilarious. He's a very funny man.
Did you to skip forward to that match?
Yeah.
He chokeslammed. Who was it? LA Knight, because a Make-A-Wish kid asked him to.
Yeah, they said that on commentary. Yeah,
that was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he needs to be world champion again.
I think he's always. I mean, from the start of NXT and the feud with Cena, like people always were giving high praise to him. But I think it was when he got into the Festival of Friendship feud with Jericho. That's when people really saw his funny side.
I was literally, I thought about that the other day, and I'm just like, why the fucking not putting that for the Universal title was such a disservice.
It was the second match on the show.
If that was for the Universal Championship as it was originally planned and should have been,
it would have been a hell of a match.
Dude, Mania 33 was a mess.
And the match is good. The match is good, but there's this element of the fact that it's not for the main belt, which is kind of what the story was all about.
Yeah,
it's in the sense of what brought. Yeah,
that whole show is just a clusterfuck. It's such a mess.
Mania 33.
Yeah, it has some good stuff on it, but it's just so
first hour
weird.
Was really good.
Was that the one we watched at Finn Jensen's?
No, we watched it at yours.
Christ, I can't remember.
That's when the Hardys came back.
Yeah, the Hardys came back, and you got Brock versus Goldberg in that 5-minute sprint. Those are probably the best parts of the show.
You also have the best moment of the show, which was the security guard in the Andre the Giant.
Nicholas was the year after.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas was 34.
Yeah. Now this was the one with fucking Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton with the maggots on the canvas.
Don't remind me.
Yep. And then there was
that feud was also really good. And then
there was maggots on the floor.
Then there was Seth Rollins versus Triple H in a match that was way too long. It was insanely long.
I would say out of the last couple Triple H matches at Mania, that was probably one of the better ones. Probably Bryan and the tag matches up there, and then that one.
I prefer the tag match over the Rollins match. The Ronda Rousey.
I do too. No, I do too. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I think the Triple H Daniel Bryan match.
Yeah, so those two are the best ones.
I mean that, and then the main event.
Then it's Rollins. Then it's
Well,
then it's Batista, and then it's Roman.
Well, there's Sting as well. Don't forget about Sting.
Oh yeah, that's probably above Batista.
Forget about
Roman.
Sting. Yes, that's what WWE would tell you.
Yes, Sting. This is what it's like.
Well, it's okay because this weekend Sting is having his real retirement match.
Is he having his real one or his Ric Flair retirement match?
No. He's having his real one. He's having his actual last match.
Yeah.
It's genuinely retiring. Yeah. But. Yeah, and also that was the
Elimination match.
I was just going to say one more thing. 33's main event was Undertaker versus Roman, and that stunk.
Oh, yeah, that was awful.
Sucked. The only good thing coming out of that was the opening of Raw the next night.
Yeah, opening of Raw the next night where he says, this is my yard now, and everyone booed.
They booed. They tried for Undertaker for like 5 minutes. Then it moved to Roman sucks. Then he came out. And then he got booed for like 5 minutes.
There has never been, in the history of wrestling, a babyface with more boos than that.
Yeah.
He
wasn't a babyface that boy. He was very much a
man, he should have
in our eyes.
He should have just become the tribal chief that night. That would have been the time to do it. But, whatever. Anyway, back on track. We have the Women's Elimination Chamber. I noticed that they started the show a little bit earlier than usual, so it was sort of in daylight, wasn't it? Sort of at dusk.
Yeah, I think it started at just before 6.
Usually it starts around 8 p.m.
It kept the sun out for a while, so
it pretty much. This is the only match where it's kind of daylight, really.
Yeah.
The next match after this is when the sun.
It was such a long match, so the sun went down.
Yeah.
But the view,
I'm so glad that
stadium with the sun setting was.
I'm so glad that Triple H has resurrected the traditional timing for these matches, because in Vince's last Chamber pay-per-view, they were like 15 minutes long. The one in Saudi Arabia. It was awful. Yeah, like they came out every 90 seconds.
Elimination Chambers.
Yeah, you know how
every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and in the Royal Rumble, that's every 90 seconds. He did that for the Chamber in 2022, and it was really stupid.
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, but it's because he had to make way for like musical performances in Saudi Arabia or some bullshit like that.
Money, I guess.
But
anyway, the Women's Chamber was probably my favorite match on the card.
It was great. It was a great match,
Again,
I think.
Tiffany Stratton, that's the only person anyone was chanting for.
She was fucking amazing.
Her and Becky were the only people that were getting chanted for.
I know it's early days, but I feel like she's going to be remembered as one of the best NXT
call-ups. Liv Morgan was
getting
a reaction.
True, she got a good reaction as well.
Yeah. Liv Morgan's kind of getting the bridesmaid story. She has been for a while.
Which is absolutely perfect for her right now, because it's not her time yet. It's not. She's not ready, but she will be in a year or so, probably. But having her put in these positions where she's second place, almost there, but not quite getting there, that's fine. Completely fine for her right now.
Yeah, also, I liked how on this show, Triple H had both winners start the match. With Becky and Drew, they both started the match. Gives them credibility.
Kind of bored at the start with her and Naomi just rolling each other up all the time.
Well, were you expecting it to be just like carnage, like it is in the video game?
To start a match, it was kind of slow. I guess that's how it's supposed to start. But
whenever we're playing Elimination Chamber at a 2K game, it's just like, right, let's go outside and go to the chain immediately.
All right, let's do some spine busters on the.
But also, when did it change that you can't pin on the outside of the ring?
I don't think it's
always been like that.
No, 2017, I think.
Because I thought you could pin on the outside.
You can in the video game.
Does that happen how often does that happen in real life? Because that definitely hasn't.
I don't know. I guess because we always do it in the game. I thought it was.
It's always.
And that's how long it's been since I've watched wrestling.
If I had to hazard a guess, I think they probably would have changed the rules when they made the new chamber in 2017.
I'd have to watch every chamber match to see, obviously, but I don't think it happens.
Because you do a devastating move outside, wouldn't you just pin them right there instead of rolling them in, losing time?
Yeah, I think it's fine if it's just inside the ring.
The other thing is that in the 2017 chamber, they've added padding to the outside to protect the wrestlers.
Yeah, which my take on that is just, I feel like it's still. It still sucks.
It's probably still steel under there. It would
but
still
also
hurt with padding.
It's a different kind of pain. It's more like what's the word? It's
winded.
Yeah, like it's flat pain. It's like more sort of
Yeah,
even
when
now.
when your back hits that, it jolts your whole body, and you just like, you just lose all your breath, and it just it does suck to take a full on bump on your back like that.
Whereas the chain one was more like lacerating. Like there's that famous one of CM Punk where he landed on his ass and his ass was bleeding because it had like these red lines on it when he got dropped on the fucking grating. It looked like he'd been barbecued.
The one thing Perth couldn't do for some reason was count down. Honestly, the idiots that I was sitting next to, when the countdown would come up, they were counting too fast.
Mm.
And they would hit to 1, and it still wouldn't be at 1 yet. I'm like, do you guys know how to count down slowly?
But yeah, anyway,
I with a bunch of duds.
I have somewhat observed Tiffany Stratton since she started in NXT. When she first debuted, she was very green, and the level of improvement and the way she just so quickly has developed into this great in-ring performer is actually crazy.
I only saw her at the Rumble and on the shows leading up to it, and she was...
Yeah, she's amazing. She has one of the best moonsaults I've ever seen.
Miss Money in the Bank, 24.
Yeah, I actually think that I've pitched this to Callum. If they were to do Tiffany versus Bianca at Mania, they could actually do a double turn, because Tiffany is a heel, but she's really over, and Bianca is a babyface, but she's in need for something new. And I think if they were to do it there, I think it could really work.
On top of the EST.
So it's like the greatest, the strongest, the fastest, or whatever it is. It's like all the different suffixes.
Okay. Right, because she kept saying that. I was like, what the hell is EST?
Yeah, it's been a thing since NXT. If you don't know what it is, then you probably will be confused.
Oh, she's debuted.
I mean, I don't know her, so I mean, I've only just got back into wrestling.
That's right. Oh wait, she only really like popped up when you stopped watching, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I got back in whenever they announced the Chamber last year.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I better watch the Rumble and get back into it.
Was it she called up to the main roster during the pandemic? Is that right, Callum? Or was it just before
it? Yes, she was. She debuted on the main roster at WrestleMania 36.
Yeah,
so
that's
4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, during the pandemic, that's right.
And she it's when she got, I think her main push was at the 2021 Royal Rumble when she won.
That's right. Yeah, she won it. Her and Rhea Ripley were the last two.
Yeah, then beat Sasha Banks in the main event of night 1.
That's
awesome
right.
match.
Yeah.
She held the title till SummerSlam, where she lost it to Becky Lynch, which was really shit way they did it. But then she won it back at Mania the next year against Becky, held it for a year and a bit, lost it to Asuka, and then that's kind of been a sort of run so far.
And they were building up to a match with her and Charlotte at Mania, but then Charlotte tore her ACL.
Yeah.
I mean, she looked impressive. I've not seen her much.
Oh,
Bianca is really good. She's really good. Her issue the sort of last year and a half is I think she's turned a bit. She did turn a bit into like Super Cena for a while, and the feuds weren't very good.
Definitely when she was on Raw, I'd say that when her title reign on Raw became stale. Ever since she was Bianca and Friends. Ever since she lost the title and got drafted to SmackDown, I think she has improved slightly in terms of character. She's gotten a bit more edge, but I do think that I don't know if they'll do it because she's so ingrained into the company values and the Make-A-Wish and all of that stuff. But really, I think a heel turn would do a lot of good. She hasn't been a heel since NXT, I believe.
Yeah, she's not been a heel on the main roster.
Yeah, and I think it's about time, because she can be a good heel.
Yeah.
And that other girl that was in the Chamber, Raquel, is she from NXT?
Well, she was.
She is, yes.
She was NXT Women's Champion during the pandemic, I remember, and then she got called up by Vince, and he changed her last name, as he does with everyone, changing their names.
Not as bad as a name, to be fair, though. I think Raquel Rodriguez is perfectly fine.
Well, it's funny because on the press conference, Triple H called her Raquel Gonzalez, which was her NXT name.
I remember. Yes, I remember. Yeah.
The problem with Raquel is that ever since being called up to the main roster, she's also lost a character, because she had something in NXT, but now it's just, look, I have a back. Look at my back.
That's
it's so big.
Gimmick.
I was gonna, I thought that must have been something because she kept tensing her back, so I figured that must have been something.
But isn't her back like super impressive though? No one's back is like that.
Yeah, but have you seen her
gimmick
back?
is her back.
Have you seen it? She comes out, does the entrance, she turns around and does like this. She like flexes her back.
Well,
so
Connor, we can't see you.
Well, you can't see you, Connor.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did it to
her gimmick. Her gimmick is her back.
Watch the stream. Cool. I'm watching the stream. I'm waiting for Connor to turn around. He hasn't yet.
That's a cool gimmick. They're back. All right. That can be my gimmick. Look, I've got Triple H's logo on my back. That's my gimmick.
Oh, there you go. Connor's moved, and yeah, what a back.
I do have broad shoulders. Not as broad as Raquel, but whatever. I mean, Raquel did well in this match, but we mentioned this in the predictions.
She was suffering from.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, the real life stuff is really sad.
Yeah. She did pretty well to pull through.
However, selfishly, Callum and I said on the predictions, I would have loved to have seen Chelsea Green in this match because she's hilarious.
Yes,
she is. Oh my goodness,
Chelsea Green is the best thing in the women's division.
I wish they had Samantha doing
Chelsea Green. Well, I imagine possibly because Mike Rome missed the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, he may have been able to do this entire one.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
He reminded me of Justin Roberts.
A little bit. I still think Roberts is better though. That's probably because he.
Oh, of course.
Well, Roberts is an AEW, so he's allowed to flex more of his personality.
Yeah, I think Mike Rome is, I think, perfectly fine. I think Greg Hamilton was better than him. He's obviously, he's definitely not with the company anymore.
No, he's not, because Greg Hamilton's a weirdo. Have you seen some of his tweets? Oh my god.
No, but I've heard that he was a bit of a weirdo.
Was that the guy that said one fall and everyone started saying it as well? Didn't they get pissed because the crowd was doing that?
Well, that was the thing on the British Indies before Greg Hamilton.
Yeah, we did that a lot.
Yeah. Because you got to remember so Greg Hamilton's most known for the SmackDown Live era, like 2016, and
he was very good.
That was around the time that WCPW was a thing, and One Fall was a big part of that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, the women's chamber match, I loved it.
Greg was good.
Yeah.
So Tiffany Stratton was definitely the star.
For sure. But they used all the participants well, and they told a good story. I noticed that they didn't do as much carnage because I think they wanted to preserve the structure for the men's chamber later in the show.
This match was more about each competitor's sort of athleticism, really, for me. Especially someone like Tiffany, who was incredible.
She was doing those backflips and the cartwheels and everything.
Well, I said this immediately after the show. I said, this chamber match makes me want to see Bianca versus Tiffany. Because they were the athleticism stars in this. And I
tweeted out after this match that she's already over after like a month. She's a mega star.
Correct me if I'm wrong, was Bianca Belair's attire inspired by Leia's slave suit in Return of the Jedi? You know, in Jabba's palace?
I have no idea.
Because it looks like it. It might be something else, but it reminded me of that.
And they said Becky Lynch's was like a Scott Hall tribute.
Yeah. Scott Hall, very loved within the industry. I'm sad that he passed away.
But the ending was good, how everyone got eliminated right after each other to...
Yeah, it was quite chaotic, actually.
That was a good way to finish it.
So yeah, in terms of the order of eliminations, I was only off by one swap.
Yeah, you were.
Which is very annoying.
You didn't predict that Naomi would be first. You thought it was going to be Raquel.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I think some of my favorite moments, like we got the Bianca's tornado DDT to Raquel on the floor outside, was great. Obviously, Tiffany Stratton's big swanton bomb off the chamber pod was crazy. What was that like watching it live, actually? Because you get to actually see the height.
Yeah, seeing her when they climbing up there. Oh my goodness, I wouldn't do that. Bloody hell!
It's like an entire.
It doesn't look that high up, but when you see it in person,
it's really high up.
No, it's nuts. Unfortunately, I couldn't see any of the entrances because I was sitting behind the commentators' table, like quite far back.
And you got a big chamber in your way.
That was the only downfall apart from where I was sitting.
That's true, yeah.
None, because that's the best part. Sometimes the entrances.
And I noticed that, interestingly, because Liv was quite over before her, but once she pinned Tiffany Stratton, she got booed.
Oh yeah, everyone loved Tiffy time.
And she played
that's
into
all
it.
People were chanting.
I love that Liv played into it. I love it when they don't just act like idiots. They actually,
boo, hoo, cry.
Yeah, no, dude. Everyone loved. Even at the press conference, when she threw the mic down and she's like, "It's not going to be like Becky's time. It's going to be Tiffy's time." When she walked off the stage, everyone was still chanting for her.
Yeah. I loved how I loved when Raquel powerbombed Bianca into the ring. She did like the Shawn Michaels sell where she flips over and then just goes and then faints. It's the same thing that is also the one, when CM Punk GTS is The Rock on Raw 1000 and he does that big fall onto his back.
Yeah, that was good when she went backwards and then stood up and then fell over. That was
hilarious.
Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan selling.
Oh my god, yes. Oh. Surely, Callum, we got to review that match at some point on this channel. Maybe we will. Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan, SummerSlam 2005.
That would be amazing.
That hilarious match. Where it looks like Shawn Michaels is inside a washing machine for the whole thing.
Just bouncing around the ring.
He completely took the piss.
So who did you have to win that match, Connor? Becky?
Oh, Becky, obviously. Yeah, we both had Becky. It was. Becky, I mean, it was obvious. They teased it at the press thing with her and Rhea Ripley. It was just like, obviously that's going to happen.
Yeah, I had Becky to win.
In terms of, I forget, Connor, who you predicted to get the most eliminations, but I did have Morgan.
You did, yes.
I believe did get the most.
Yeah, well done on that. I predicted Bianca Belair and I was wrong. She only got one.
You were actually wrong on both, which we'll get to, which actually is,
I was. Yeah, I got
Does
destroyed.
Does that mean I already won at that point?
You won before you won after the men's chamber.
Okay, because
the final score, if you want to know, I got 5.5 and you got 9.5, so I got wrecked.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got really badly wrecked. It actually could have been worse. I was initially going to go with Candice and Indy, and then I changed my mind at the last minute.
Oh, you picked the Kabuki Warriors.
I did, yeah, but I only changed that like very shortly before watching it.
Yeah,
because it could have been a worse lot. I could have gotten 4.5. I really fucked up.
So where did you lose massive points or didn't get points?
So the biggest thing that caused me to lose was the fact that you predicted what the main event match was going to be and you used your Genesis pick to double it.
Did you not use it for that?
No.
What did you?
Did you not pick Rhea to go on last?
No, I didn't. I chose the men's chamber.
I knew it was going to be Rhea because she's the home girl.
Rhea.
No, I
thought
didn't.
You picked
the
women's match.
Nope, that was you.
Yeah. Oh, wow, good for me. Would I have won anyway though if we both had picked? Because I had both.
The reason why I picked the men's chamber was I was taking a gamble because I had to take a gamble if I wanted a chance to beat you. It was either going to be really, really close, or I could have taken a risk and beaten you. I had to do it basically because that's the thing is that with a 4-match main card, like there's so little room for error.
Pretty much because we predicted the same result for everything.
Like one of the reasons why I was so good with the AEW predictions is because there's like fucking 14 matches or something stupid like that, including the pre-show.
That's what I'm used to there being. I was surprised it was only 4 matches. I feel like that's what when we used to watch the pay-per-views.
Triple H is very minimalist with his pay-per-views.
Granted, there was meant to be 6.
Sorry, PLE.
PLE, sorry, my bad.
I'll still never call it that. When I said to you pay-per-view and you were like, no PLE, I was like, what are you talking about?
It's a Nick Khan. It's a Nick Khan euphemism. He invented that phrase
because you're still paying to view it.
No, but the reason why they call it a PLE is because of Peacock. So you subscribe to
Because
Peacock.
it's on a streaming service.
Oh,
Yeah.
bullshit! You're still paying for a streaming service.
You're paying for a streaming service, but you're not paying for the individual show. Whereas in AEW, they actually are pay-per-views because you actually pay for the show.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah, there are pay-per-views.
Like what it used to be before the network.
That is the one very annoying thing is AEW pay-per-views. It's way more expensive to watch because you have to pay for each individual show.
You're paying. Granted, it's only like last year. What was it like 6? It was 6 pay-per-views last year.
Yeah.
Or was it 7?
It was a bit more palatable when it was just 4 to 6 pay-per-views, but now that there's more of them, it's a bit. Ugh.
Yeah, you're pretty much paying the same amount. I think if you're paying per month, I'd have to do the maths, but I'm not bothering to do it. Yeah.
You get a discount if you have. I think you get a discount if you have AEW Plus.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I think it's usually $35 by itself. If you have AEW Plus, it's $25 where I come from. But I don't know what it is in pounds.
Yeah, it's $19.99 here, and then it's $15.99 if you've got Plus.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
So the tag match?
We referenced the finish of this match, but I thought this was the last section was really good in terms of how this match ended.
Yeah, the way that Liv pinned, what was her name? I can't remember which one it was. And then
immediately pinned Becky, didn't she? Liv pinned Bianca, and then
immediately,
and then Becky pinned Liv.
That's right.
Right after, yeah.
Right after,
really great.
Which was a great way to finish it. Keep them all strong.
Continues the bridesmaid story. The other thing I really liked about this, they usually do this anyway, but both Becky and Drew after the match, like the way they celebrated, the way the cameras shot their celebration was really cool. The way that they claimed things and did all that stuff.
I was disappointed there was no WrestleMania sign, but I guess they couldn't bring it over.
Yeah, I think they would. There's no really place to hang it, really.
I mean, I guess
that's one thing about Optus.
One thing they could have done for the TV viewers is they could have just done a CGI one. Like they do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I would have
entrances
of that. To be fair.
Yeah. Well, actually,
always.
Well, I think if Kevin Dunn was still there, he probably would have done that, but he's not. And I've noticed that they've been doing some new stuff with the production of the shows now that he's gone, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter the other day, like the one continual shot when they walked up the ramp as they were wrestling or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the Royal Rumble, they did how long the people have been in the ring on the screen. That was cool. And then during ad breaks on the TV shows, they show a graphic of a person that's going to be there after the ad break.
Yeah, that's awesome.
On SmackDown.
I will watch Raw after this.
Yeah.
Even Chelsea Green got one, which is quite fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I like how they're doing that.
You think Matt Cardona will come back?
Oh, I hope so. But I don't know. It's like he's the king of the Indies. Does he want to be the king of the Indies? Or does he?
I remember when he talked about it, like he very much just wanted to work on the Indies when he left WWE. And when he was even briefly in AEW, he was like, I kind of want to just work on the Indies.
Yeah, he didn't sign with
AEW. He wants some fun after being there for so long.
I mean, at some point he will. I just don't know when. Really, I don't know.
But like he said, Zack Ryder is dead. If I come back, it's going to be me, not him.
Yeah, it's true. And WWE's very big into like branding and owning names and stuff.
Yeah, but he said Zack Ryder is dead.
Like, you got to remember, they're a publicly traded company. They have so many things that they need for you to do for them. It's not like other companies where they don't have that issue.
That's right. They never owned Railgun's name.
They showed a video package for Bayley. I have to say, there's been quite a bit of Bayley neglect by the company recently, despite the fact that she won the Royal Rumble. That's really
what everybody keeps saying. Like, people are like, put respect on her name. Remember,
yeah, like she wasn't at the press event. Yet Bianca was saying, "I don't know what I'm going to do at Mania."
I don't even think she was in Australia. So
she wasn't. No,
she wasn't. But everyone did sing her song. Everyone sung.
Even CM Punk after that press event said, "I just want to mention Bayley because she wasn't mentioned or shown."
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the only mention of her was people singing "Hey Baby," but swapping it out with Bayley.
Yeah, that's been there since Takeover London in 2015.
But yeah, everyone's like, "Come on, man! She won the Rumble, not just Cody. Remember her as well."
Yep. and she's not on any of the posters. It's very annoying. Someone in that company must not like her.
She is now. I saw one this morning that she was on, but I was like, why is she not on the poster? And Bianca is. She's not even in the world title match.
And then her 2K24 model looks like shit, and she acknowledged it.
Yeah, she did. She tweeted it. I was like, oh my god, there's no way that is going to be what it looks like when a game comes out, surely.
Well, I know that Triple H loves Bayley, but it must be must be some people within the company that just have something against her. I don't know what it is. I don't think she's
I'll buy the game, and if that's what she looks like, I'll tell you.
Hopefully they patch it.
Right, I'm just gonna let some light in here.
I mean, someone will make a mod, surely. Well, I don't know. It just seems like the company doesn't want to market Bayley, which is a shame because she's one of the best.
Which is strange. She won the Rumble, so what are you doing?
Yeah, she won the Royal Rumble. She's in a major match, but they're obviously not going to have her match main event night one, are they? Even though it should.
No.
They won't do that.
No, they're kind of just ignoring her.
Yeah, even though the Damage Control storyline is one of the best in the women's division at the moment, or if not the best. Whatever. Anyway, now that we got that out the way, we had the Tag Team Championship match. I thought this was fucking awesome. I loved this match. This felt like something from an NXT TakeOver show.
I felt like they were going to lose.
Well, that's great. It means they made you believe.
It was awesome.
We had the Judgment Day versus
I was very confident that Judgment Day were going to retain, but there were moments where they actually made it seem like that New Catch Republic were actually might pull it out and win.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was a bit like, okay, I know I've seen all these guys have great matches before, but you know, it is WWE main roster. Maybe they won't get enough time. Maybe blah blah blah. Nope. I was completely wrong. They gave these guys so much time. We got an amazing tag team match. I shouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised. I was surprised at how great this was. Not that I didn't know that these guys could pull off a match like this. I just didn't think the booking would allow it, but they actually did. Probably because with having...
because Vince isn't there.
But also because Seth versus Bronson Reed wasn't on the show. Neither was Dom versus Brock.
Yeah, they had
they had a lot of time, and they gave these guys time, and this match fucking ruled. I loved it.
Dude, Dominic got absolutely...
Yeah,
I don't know if you could hear the boos.
Oh, I could hear it.
Could you hear did they bleep out when everyone was saying F you, Dom?
No.
Because boy, that went loud.
No, they usually do it. Yeah. They usually do that on TV.
Like when he was trying to announce them, I couldn't hear him on the microphone.
They're a bit more lenient with Peacock than they are on TV with the bleeping.
I could not hear him on the microphone. Everybody was just shitting on him, booing so much.
It's been like that for months. What were you going to say, Callum?
There was a moment where the front row were flipping off Dom.
Oh yeah,
and so the screen went black.
They had to black the screen out because everyone was flipping them off.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I was like, what? I thought my feet cut out.
We thought it was a technical thing as well because on all of our screens in the arena they went black.
Mm-hmm.
No, because everyone was doing this.
Oh, I hate PG.
It was incredible how much boos he was getting.
Like, I understand the reason for not having, excessive gratuitous content in your wrestling product, but it's this kind of stuff that makes me hate PG. It's just cringe.
Yeah, this match I absolutely adore. For me personally, I've only been to 3 wrestling shows in my life. The first one I ever went to involved both Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. They were both in 2 separate matches. Tyler Bate teamed with Trent Seven in Mustache Mountain against the Swords of Essex, and Pete Dunne was in a match tagging with Travers, whatever his name was, but he's a
redacted New Zealand wrestler. That's very creepy.
Very much redacted. I can't remember who they faced. I think it was I can't remember. But I saw both of them wrestle. That was 7 years ago now. And I remember near the end of the show looking at my right and seeing both Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne just standing there. weird to think about now, 7 years later, that they're wrestling a 50+ thousand people in a stadium.
Have such a unique in-ring style. When Tyler Bate was in, he had his legs tied around Finn Balor's neck, and he climbed up the ropes with his hands like a monkey. It's so creative what they do. That they do something very different to everyone else. And then of course you got Pete Dunne with the classic joint manipulation that he loves to do, which is gnarly.
Honestly, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are fucking insanely good. They are so good.
This is also satisfying because
this is also yesterday actually, Connor. I watched the NXT Deadline Survivor match that happened this past couple. I think it was past a couple months, which had Trick Williams, Tyler Bate, Josh Briggs, Dijak, and Braun Breaker, and it was fucking awesome. Tyler Bate, Braun Breaker, and Trick Williams were fucking great.
Oh yeah, Shawn Michaels doing a good job with NXT White and Gold.
Yeah,
it's sort of they're bringing it back.
Honestly, Tyler, I am desperate for Tyler and Pete to be like, I'm enjoying this tag run, and I think this has got a lot of potential. After Mania, I want them to win the belt at some point because I think this team just put on some great matches. They're just fucking awesome. And then I want both of them to have great singles runs going into 2025 probably.
Well, this is quite it's quite a satisfying thing because Vince McMahon he lumped Pete Dunne with the Butch character with the with Sheamus and Ridge Holland. And it was so beneath him, and now that he's finally become the Bruiserweight again, it's so great to see.
It took a while, probably longer than it probably should have been, honestly. But I'm so happy for him. I really am, because they're honestly two fantastic wrestlers.
Yeah, it was such a fun match. Such a fun match.
This match was awesome. This match ruled.
The thing I think, Regan, you missed out the most on this match is this was probably Michael Cole's best commentary of the night because Dom Mysterio was there.
I'm gonna have. I saw one clip on Twitter from when it shows the video. From the commentary disc pointing at him.
Yeah.
I saw that one when he was like, when he broke up the pin and then he sat down on the floor and he was like, he's right there, like. He's whatever he was saying.
Did you see him stand up and sort of yell at him?
Oh yeah, I that's the clip I saw because I couldn't see him from where I was sitting, but I saw the clip of Cole stand up and yell at him, and Graves is like, "What are you doing? He's right there."
Yeah,
I think that's probably. I personally think Cole is still not as good as people say he is, but I think when Dominic Mysterio is around, I think he is very, very good.
Dude, the love he got at the press conference.
Yeah, Michael Cole gets more good moments now that Vince is gone. For sure.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He was getting so much love at the press conference. Yeah. Oh, that match was good, though. I don't know those two very well, but it was good to see Finn Balor.
Yeah.
It's always good to see him.
Very British heavy
New Zealand? Connor, I can't remember.
Say that again, Regan.
Did we see Balor in New Zealand?
Yeah, he faced Jericho.
You're right. Face Finn Balor.
That was the highlight of the night. On that show,
it was with that
Jericho's promo and then the match with Finn Balor.
Yeah, I thought Balor was there, so that was good to see him. Did you see him talk shit about The Rock?
No, I didn't see that.
There was a video. He was at one of the local beaches, and there was some kid, and he was asking him like, "Do you think The Rock's gonna show up?" And he was like, "Oh, what did he say? Something." He was like, "No, like he's a lazy bastard. He won't be there." Was something along the lines of that. Was what he said. Like he was like, "He's a lazy." Yeah, he's like, "He's a lazy prick. He won't be here." Like,
ever since he's turned heel with the Judgment Day, he's done a whole different turn of his character in WWE. Like we never really got to see this before, but when he was in New Japan with the Bullet Club, he had this really cheeky, persona, and he's finally been able to bring it back with the Judgment Day, and it's so funny.
I've been loving the segments on Raw with Truth. He's hilarious.
Yeah, but
he went to Austria.
I just love how Michael Cole's the biggest Dom Mysterio hater.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's good. They're doing really well. And the Damian Priest, I don't know much about him, but he was really good for a big guy.
He got he had a match with Bad Bunny at Backlash last year. in Puerto
I'm
Rico.
just worried about when he's going to cash in.
That's true.
Because it can only be on Seth. There's no way he could cash in on Roman.
It's been the big topic of discussion the last couple of months, and a lot of people think the booking of him has been really, really poor. And I think, to a certain extent, it has been. I think.
I'd say
they hinted on Raw.
I'd say within the Judgment Day in isolation, his booking's been fine. It's just as Mr. Money in the Bank, that's the part that's kind of missing.
Yeah. I don't want him to
cash in and win. And
yeah, don't have him do an Austin Theory. That would be stupid.
No, I don't.
I don't see Gunther losing his title anytime soon.
I imagine, because of the War Games match from November, I imagine his cash-in surely has something to do with Drew McIntyre, because they have beef.
What, so Seth loses to Drew?
Yeah.
Damien cashes in on Drew.
I don't know when.
Will he be a transitional champion, or do you think when he wins it, he'll keep it for a while?
I think Damian Priest could lose.
Cash in and lose.
I think he could lose his cash in. Honestly, I think it's possible.
Seth maybe runs in.
No, I think he just loses. I think the Judgment Day could have a big clusterfuck and mess it up. It's possible.
I think the Judgment Day will end this year.
Yeah. And losing
the cash in,
losing the briefcase could be as I'm about to say, losing the cash in could be the catalyst for it, and it could lead to a Balor versus Priest match at SummerSlam. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And they hinted at SummerSlam last year, sort of their dissension over the summer.
Who else has lost the cash in? Cena and
Damien Sandow, another Damien.
Cena and Sandow, right?
Austin Theory, Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah, Baron Corbin, because Cena interrupted it, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he
Jinder Mahal's only clean win, really,
as champion. Yeah. God, that was crap.
Yeah, it was.
I think that's the only one. Apart from that, I don't know.
Three.
There's not been any fails.
It's about 5. It's about 5 fails. I think.
Yeah.
Damien Sandow, John Cena.
I forget about Austin Theory because it's
Austin
not for
Theory,
a world title.
Baron Corbin, and there was a 5th one. I can't remember what the 5th one was.
I can't remember.
It
wasn't Miz because he won it off Otis.
Yeah, I'm not counting Otis and Mr. Kennedy. That doesn't count because the cash-in person still won the match.
But I was listening to an interview with Ziggler the other day, and he mentioned his one, and I was like, straight to YouTube, watch his cash-in.
Braun Strowman.
Oh yes, Braun Strowman. I forgot about that. That was so bad.
That's the fire.
He came into the Hell in a Cell match, and then the match just ended. It was so weird.
What?
Brock
Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar opened the door and F5 Strowman and Roman Reigns, and then the match just ended. It was so strange.
But it's a no disqualification match.
Exactly, Regan. Exactly, and that's why Vince McMahon is fucking retarded.
And he came up with it, or he knew how it worked.
Yes, of course. Fucking that was all.
We're talking about modern Vince booking, so
yeah, this was
What's
2018.
Your favorite cash-in, Callum?
It's got to be Rollins.
What's your favorite cash-in?
Oh, Seth Rollins easily. Not only do I think it is the best cash-in, objectively, but it's also that was also my first Mania. Watching 31 was my first ever Mania, so it's a bit more special in my heart.
I've watched for longer than you have, and I still agree it's the best one. That we watched that live.
Because I have correct opinions.
Obviously, yeah. But no, Regan, we watched that at your house. That cash-in was just...
For me, it's got to be Rollins and then Dolph.
Rollins, Dolph, and Edge. The first Edge one as well at New Year's Revolution against Cena. That was so perfect. The only issue is the referee kept dropping the belt when he tried to give it to him.
Oh god!
And
I saw a clip floating around the other day when Edge went in as the champ and then came out as the other champ. No Way Out 2009. That's a great story they did there. The other issue with the first cash-in is the Elimination Chamber match they had before. It was not great. The Carlito and Chris Masters lasting longer than Shawn Michaels. I've seen that match.
It's not a very good match, but the cash in itself after it is amazing.
Yeah, that's where he walks down with Vince, right?
Yeah. He's cashing in his privilege he earns at WrestleMania. But yeah, it's
He's never won it.
Rollins, Ziggler, right? Rollins, Ziggler, and Edge. The first Edge one are the best ones.
Yeah, that I remember the Rollins one live. That was awesome.
I really like the RVD one as well, from One Night Stand, where he plans it beforehand. Yeah.
Oh, is that the Cena one?
Yeah, RVD and Cena.
Yeah.
That was great.
You know, it's funny. I was obviously at the press conference and at the show. I was cheering for Seth, obviously, and I was like, God, 10 years ago, this wouldn't have happened.
No, that's right.
Alex would have been calling me a hypocrite.
Well, that's right, because you and Alex always has a cheer for the opposite person.
Yep, he loves Seth and I love Dean. Was it bloody
SummerSlam 2014, Seth beat Dean and you scratched his face?
That was an accident, but yes.
Yeah.
That was only a few months before I started watching. I mean, Alex started watching when they fought in Hell in a Cell.
Alex rubbed it in because Seth beat Dean and then Brock beat Cena.
Yeah. That was not a good night.
No.
But it's all right. Now, according to the history books, Cena was just suplexing himself all over the ring.
That's right. You got your revenge at WrestleMania because Cena beat Rusev and Alex just sighed and went, ugh.
Yeah. The reign was good, though. That reign was good.
Yeah, he made the US title feel like really important.
Yeah, had really good matches with obviously Owens and Sami Zayn.
I don't think all the matches were great, though. That is one of my hot takes. No. There's a few of those matches that I think were just, I hit a move, you hit a move, I do a pin, you kick out, I kick out.
That made me remember Cesaro and back to the tag match.
Yeah,
where the guy spun, where he did the airplane to Damian Priest. My God, he did like 30 rotations.
Yeah, Tyler Bate did the airplane spin.
Yeah.
He did like 30 rotations. That
he's you know Tyler Bate's born in 1997, eh? He's our age.
Oh wow, he's our age.
Yeah.
He's a year older than me. 1 year older.
So he must be one of the younger ones there then in the company.
He's the youngest ever WWE champion.
Yeah, because he won the UK belt at 18, I think. Or 19?
Yep.
19, I think.
Yep.
So he beat Randy's record then.
No, it wasn't Randy. It was Rene Dupree who won the tag belt at 20.
Rene Dupree.
Oh, I thought Randy was the youngest world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he's the youngest world champion.
Oh,
we're talking about any belt.
Any champion. Any belt.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was, they almost put the belt on Kelly when she was like 19, so that almost happened, but that was ECW, so she was on the wrong brand. Anyway, so we had a video package. The tag match was great. We had a video package of Dwayne from SmackDown, heel Dwayne. Great to see it.
Yeah, that massive gold jacket.
He basically did the he did the James May meatloaf joke from Top Gear. It's like all you inbreds and your 10 sisters and your 400 children.
Says the Samoan who are all related.
That's very true, actually. I forgot about that. Anyway, let's not get into that. We have Austin Theory, his career is basically floundering, and he's hanging on Grayson Waller for dear life.
He was going up against John Cena at WrestleMania this time last year.
Did he win or lose?
He won, but no one cared.
Wow, he beat Cena. Oh, okay, but no one cared. Okay.
No one considers it. No one considers it a victory. Number one, because the match was crap, and number two, because Cena already buried him in a promo before it.
Oh, wow. Who's going to beat him in a promo?
Well, I can think of a few people, but Austin Theory's not one of them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Grayson Waller effect was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about people who can beat Cena in a promo, you've got to go with like CM Punk, Steve Austin. They're like some of the only people that could.
Not The Rock though.
No,
he writes promo.
Weirdly, I think Attitude Era Rock could, but not modern Dwayne.
Hollywood Rock would as well.
Yeah, Hollywood Rock.
Give him one of these.
Gonna do that. What you gonna do?
Man, when Seth and Cody came out, the crowd was going wild.
Yeah.
So interestingly,
for Seth for
because
ages.
of Australia, they had to have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory not be on the same side.
Yeah, because I saw after people were like, "Oh, are they gonna turn on each other?"
They only just got together recently. It's weird.
Yeah, but then he let his man get curb stomped. So
like near the end of last year.
That wasn't that long ago. It's only like 2 months, 3 months.
I feel like it's been about 4 months.
Well, I guess November, yeah.
And the pyro that Cody got when he came out.
Oh, but that's a meme. I mean, Cody always gets lots of pyro, but it's funny he got pyro for an entrance that isn't for a match. That's the
when he got that pyro. I got a text from my dad saying, "Oh, is that it finished?" Because there were so many fireworks, and I was like, "No, it's still going."
No, it's just Cody Rhodes coming out for an interview. That's all it is.
Because he lives, I don't know, 10 minutes from the stadium, so he said it was loud. I mean, I was in the stadium; it was so loud. It was so loud for him, just 10 minutes away.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And then Cody came out, and that was so good, and everyone was singing his song.
Yeah, that Kingdom song is timeless. It's a great song.
What a good quip by Grayson when he was like, "You can thank the American system for this man not being able to finish his story."
That was fucking brilliant. That was such a good line.
Yeah, that was great.
That honestly might be that actually might be Grayson Waller's career highlight so far. That was so funny.
I mean, if he thought of that on the spot, that's hilarious.
Nah, he would have planned it, but he saved it for the right time. He said it in front of his home crowd.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. I actually think, like, early on, people were saying, "Oh, it's this guy's just like another Miz." But I think ever since he did that interview where
Luke Owens said that today, though, so it's like,
but Luke Owens, Luke Owens wrong about a lot of things.
I've not seen him wrestle. Is he a good wrestler?
Well, he's a good athlete, but he's good athlete, but his moveset's really stupid. He does that finisher where he goes outside the ring first and rolls in.
So he's more of a talk show guy than a wrestler.
Yeah, I'd say he's more personality. Yeah, he's not a bad athlete. He's an athlete,
But he's a good athlete. But he can't.
Let me put it this way. He is a sports entertainer.
Right. He's not a wrestler.
He's not a traditional wrestler, no.
So he's like John Cena.
Well, I mean, John Cena's more jacked than Grayson Waller,
but he's a sports entertainer.
Cena is also a more captivating promo. People are more intrigued by. But again, it took Cena years of. It did take Cena years of time to really build up that credibility, on the main roster. Because remember, early SmackDown, no one gave a fuck about him before he was the Doctor of Thuganomics. He nearly got released, yeah. I don't know if Grayson Waller is main event caliber, but he certainly has a place on the show. But I think recently I've gotten more respect for him, especially since he did that interview with someone. That Aussie guy's like, "Oh, do your finisher on me," like it's like play fighting, and he's just like, "Mate, I'll fucking punch you in the face." There's no joke.
Cringe, honestly.
Oh yeah, and then there was a media guy that pissed off Austin Theory in Perth.
Yeah,
because he was like, "What you do is not real, right?" And he's like, "You want to walk in my shoes? Like, I come here to do a media event and you fucked me off."
Okay, but what fake? Okay, I mean, anyone who says that, go watch Undertaker's interview on Joe Rogan and hear him talk about all his injuries and all his surgeries.
Oh yeah, I know. These guys are just
Mia Khalifa get chopped by Thunder Rosa, who also said it was fake.
Yeah, go see. Was it Tony Hawk get chopped by Jamie Hayter? That was fucking hilarious.
Go watch LBW, Real Gun versus Conor Motor.
That's the one. Well, I mean, Real Gun versus Dython when you wasteland me on the grass.
Hey, that was...
It was great. I didn't feel a thing. It just looked amazing. That's what you're supposed to do. Although then there is when Ben fucking kicked my nose and broke...
That was the only blood nose we had, at least.
Well, I remember when my brother gave me a GTS and he proper hit my nose. And I had a full nosebleed.
Well, the other thing was that... when you were El Verde, you tried to do a suplex to Alex, but for some reason your suplex involves lifting the knees instead of the shoulders, and you landed back first on his face.
Yeah, I did it wrong. It's fine. The botchy luchador.
Oh, yeah, that was the gimmick, because they were all botching.
Yeah, I need to go to the performance center, brother.
Yeah, that's right. You need to learn the WWE style. You need to learn how to Fed wrestle.
What?
Oh, the Fed is a nickname for the WWE, or it's more the WWF, because the World Wrestling Federation. And
right.
Back in the day, WCW fans would call it the Fed as like an insult, and it's still like a thing. AEW fans call it the Fed. We call it the Fed because it's funny. It's funny to call it
myself. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I mean, I usually refer to it as the Fed when Vince McMahon has done something stupid, which is common.
Yep. The big Fed.
Yep. And there's so many little stupid things they do, like the product placement, and it's just like, of course, because it's the Fed. Yeah. Only the Fed would do that.
Didn't you just love, though, the Slim Jim's men's elimination chamber?
Yeah, what was it like? They had to count down from 15 instead of 10?
Yeah, because everyone had a Slim Jims as a 1.
Yeah, because beef jerky is so important, apparently.
I had beef jerky, like there's a brand here called like pepperoni. I can't remember if that's the exact name, but it's like a stick of meat. And it tastes very nice. They had recently made like beef jerky versions, and I did not like it. It was too sweet. It didn't taste anything like the original thing.
Yeah, it's got too much processed sugar, and it's got too much salt in it.
It didn't taste the same as like the stick theme that we have. I don't know if any like Australia or New Zealand have it, but yeah.
I noticed that for the new Dynamite logo, they've gone back to the rainbow. You know what's interesting about this? I remember Tony Khan was on a press conference, right, for one of the pay-per-views, and this exact conversation came up. Like, some interviewer said, have you thought of adding a new logo for Dynamite, and have you thought of bringing back the rainbow aesthetic? And then what you just posted is exactly what's happened. They have a new logo and they've put rainbow aesthetic back.
I cannot wear this shirt. It is a child's small. It was all they had left. It is so tight.
You are far too tall for that shirt.
Yeah, it is so tight. I had to get it.
You need to be like Mark Henry with the ECW title and get a belt extender, but for your shirt.
This is awful. I need to take it off.
Shirt extender.
Yeah.
Are any of you two Cody crybabies?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was moaning. I was
whinging. That was hilarious. The pop that he got when he was like, "Are there any other Cody crybabies here?" And everyone was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
If they make a Cody Crybabies t-shirt, I'm absolutely buying it.
Like The Rock saying that, it's just got everybody saying, "Yeah, I'm a Cody Crybaby. We all love Cody."
Exactly.
Kind of turned on him.
Yep.
He thought he was doing something, calling us all crybabies.
Yeah, I'll say that, and I'm not only that, but also there's a Taz's son in AEW. His name's Hook, and his fans are called Hookers. We're all hookers here.
Like Andrew Moore.
Any hookers in the house?
No. What's also funny, I told this a couple of times as well. The second pro wrestling show I went to, Cody wrestled Matt Riddle in a really great match where they both went through a table, which was awesome. And I literally was like only a couple feet from Cody. I was like in the seats, and I was like, it was only like 5 rows, and I was in the 4th, and the ring was really close to us, me and my brother who went there. So it's so weird the fact that I've seen Cody live while he was in the Indies when he got released.
That's crazy.
He was internet champion in WCPW when he faced Matt Riddle, which was also the first time I saw Matt Riddle ever. I didn't even know who the fuck he was at the time.
I just want to reference something that Regan just brought up, Callum. So there was a New Zealand rugby player, and his name was Andrew Hoare, and his position was hooker. So he was Andrew Hoare, the hooker.
That's very funny.
Anyway, one of my favorite little meme moments that's been gifted a lot is when Grayson Waller brought up The Rock versus The Rock's involvement at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins did like the vomit face.
Yeah.
Oh, and he also said, "Let's acknowledge our tribal chief," and Seth went,
Yeah, that's right.
And they had to blur it. He was like, "Oh, wrong one."
Yeah. Yeah. So what was
his title belt?
Oh, it's like the big gold belt, but it's got a big logo in the middle. I still prefer the original big gold, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but if you have to have something new,
well, you don't have to. I think guess it's branding.
I think it was perfectly described at the time. It's a good compromise.
Yeah,
it still looks nice, but I think they're forced to have branding. But I think it's the best it could have looked.
The 1986 Ric Flair big gold belt is still better.
It's still number one.
Gorgeous.
Still number one.
The guy standing next to me at the press conference had that one.
Yeah.
God, he was annoying. He kept being like, I am the real world's champion, and he kept wooing, and I was like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by a bunch of bloody
Here's the thing, I have nothing against people buying belts. I'm very tempted to buy a belt myself just because I am now the predictions champion, but it's very expensive, so I'm not going to do that. But if you bring a belt to a wrestling show, you are fucking Mark and cringe.
There was a guy walked past me who had 3 of them. He had I don't know what he had, but he had 2, one here, and one here, 3 of them, and they're $750.
I want to give a crazy bit of trivia. So, there's a guy called Tyler who's been on the main channel for the Reservoir Dogs review I did, the Quentin Tarantino film. His brother, who he's no longer, it's his twin brother who he's no longer in contact with. You know, they're not on good terms. But his twin brother was standing behind Pat McAfee. He had like 3 belts on. He looked super cringe. But it's weird. I know that guy Tyler because I worked with him at KFC. It's so strange, the connections.
I saw all the title belts and I said to Dan, I should get an LPW one commissioned and made real.
Yeah. But I just it's just weird. It's weird that I can say that. That guy standing behind Pat McAfee on the WrestleMania press show holding 3 belts looking super cringe is the twin brother of a guy I've worked with at KFC.
Again, the only reason I'd get a belt would be for predictions. And that's
you know what else, Regan? You know what else, Regan? Only people from New Zealand's going to get this. But that guy Tyler, that I was talking about, that I worked with, he bought the old 7-Day studio and he turned it into a movie memorabilia museum.
Oh, cool.
That's crazy. And his uncle was a famous singer. I think his name's like Brian Keith or something, and he passed away recently. Yeah. It's weird. Right. Weird connections. Anyway, Austin Theory
Anything
was...
else with the press conference?
Well, the
Grayson Waller.
The Grayson Waller effect. I will say, Austin Theory is looking jacked, but he still can't get over.
Oh yeah, when they told him to take his jacket off, wow.
Yeah, he's jacked. But yeah, I think this, as most promos are on pay-per-views, they're usually fluff. But what this did do is it sets up the potential for a tag match with Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman, which I think might.
Oh yeah, because he called out the Rock.
It'll probably main event night 1. If I were to predict.
What, and then the title matches will be on night 2.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Sorry, Bailey. I wish you could main event, but The Rock apparently has to be more important than you.
Right, so surely Cody's winning the title.
Fucking hell, he should have won last year.
Should have won last year.
If he doesn't win this year, what the fuck are they doing?
Well, I keep seeing, if he doesn't win this year, then Roman keeps the belt until September and beats Hulk Hogan's record.
No one cares. No one cares about Hogan's record.
I don't want that, but they say if he wins at Mania, he'll keep it till September.
It's not even a record. It's like the 3rd longest reign.
Yeah.
Bob Backlund and Bruno Sammartino have longer reigns than that.
But no one's beaten those.
No one's beating Sammartino. It's not possible.
No one's keeping it for, 8-9 years?
7 years.
Well, he's halfway there, nearly.
Oh, fuck, that's so strange to think. He won it during the pandemic, he still has it, and he's only halfway.
Yeah, he has to lose at Mania.
You gotta remember the WWF in the 60s only did 1 show a month in Madison Square Garden. And there was...
That's what Long said.
TV was rare for wrestling back then. It was rare.
There's no way he doesn't lose at Mania, surely.
Yeah, you know, like, you get the odd TV match. They would show
Cody doesn't win, the crowd would go nuts.
I think
well, they've done enough either way, but
I think other promotions at the time had more TV than they did because they were more established. Like, you know, you get the odd like Luthez versus Buddy Rogers, but most wrestling in those days was just house shows. It wasn't really until the 70s that TV started to become a thing. Even if that, I mean, really the 80s kind of was when TV became a huge thing. Especially, you know, broadcast across a country as opposed to just local network TV. But yeah, I thought this promo was fine. You know, it had Grayson Waller out there in his home country, so that's nice for him.
He did a shoey with some UFC guy.
He did. He did, yeah. They're doing a lot more UFC integration now that the companies have merged. All everyone's saying is Conor McGregor going to appear in WWE, but I don't know. He swears a lot.
I don't think so.
He swears too much.
He just seems like too much of a... He's a bit of a dick.
Insane.
Like, I don't think he cares about WWE.
He's pretty insane.
Well,
unless they pay him heaps of money, he probably wouldn't do it.
The thing is, Regan, you say he doesn't care, but Dana White's his boss and he can tell him what to do.
Well, yeah, but you can still tell someone what to do and not do it well.
Well, I mean, he could just be like, well, no, fuck yourself. I'm not going.
Yeah, I mean, it's his boss, but he can still tell him to... Oh, are you there, Connor?
Yeah, I'm there.
Connor?
Oh, you just stopped talking. We thought you cut off.
No, I was just listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's like seeing Bianca Belair in like the Special Olympics ad. It's just like, oh, they're not going to turn her heel, are they?
No.
Sad.
Yeah, the meat of this, but the meat of this not press conference, the meat of this talk show was the challenge from Cody Rhodes to The Rock.
Yeah, and Seth being cleared, I guess, medically cleared soon.
Nearly, yeah.
Yeah.
And Seth saying he doesn't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
Which is
well, if that's a tag match, it'll be a great tag match.
You'd hope so. Hopefully, if because it's a tag match, maybe Dwayne won't get gassed.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to do as much. He can just come in and do some moves, and he can just come in and do his 5 moves.
Obviously, you know, for his age, he's really fit. But the thing with wrestling is you have to have really high cardio, and when you have that much,
the main thing.
When you have that much muscle on your body, it makes it really hard to stay in it. If you notice, you notice back in the Attitude Era, he had muscle, but it wasn't that much muscle. It wasn't the same.
No, he was but not in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, he always works out, but he might not be doing cardio, so yeah, he might not be able to go.
Well, it's also just about, as I said, he has way more muscle on his body now because he wants to look like a Hollywood star, and that makes it harder to wrestle.
He got blown out when he just did a couple moves to Jinder Mahal.
I mean, there's a reason why I've said this before in a video that's coming up on this channel that I've just been editing last night, actually, is one of the reasons why a lot of undercard matches on outside of Intercontinental Division, but just speaking of generic undercard matches on the 80s WWF shows, tend to be quite shit, is because everyone's taking so many steroids they can't move around without getting gassed. And it makes it really awkward to wrestle when you have that much muscle. But of course, Vince wanted everything to be larger than life, so he made them take life-altering drugs that shorten your expectancy to like 60.
And somehow Hogan's still alive.
Yeah, somehow he's still going.
And he took all those drugs.
I mean, I guess you could say he stopped taking steroids mainly around sort of 92-ish when the scandal happened. Yeah, and Hollywood Hogan was way thinner than Hulk Hogan.
So it might have been enough to save him by getting off them.
Although, interestingly, when he came back to the Fed in 2002, he was jacked again. Remember that match with Rock at Mania 18? His muscle was back. But yeah,
I need to watch that match.
Yeah, it's a match that's very much all about the crowd reaction.
Well, yeah, they had to turn it on the fly, right?
To be fair, that is Hulk Hogan's speciality. That's what he was the best at.
Hogan was supposed to be a heel, but everyone was cheering him.
Yeah, because they missed Hulkamania, and also The Rock started going to Hollywood, so they were turning on him.
Scorpion King.
Because not only that, also at SummerSlam later that year, people were cheering Brock Lesnar over The Rock, and it was when he came back after that he became Hollywood Rock, and he had his, in my opinion, his best run as a character. I love Hollywood Rock. Goldberg, you whiskey
He
biscuit
gets out the
bald-headed
guitar and
bitch.
starts singing.
Yep, that's the one. Cleveland sucks. And he has that awesome theme. That's the one thing that's missing from this Rock at the moment is the theme song doesn't fit him anymore. The heel Rock
says the same one.
They need to bring back Is Cooking because that fits heel Rock so well.
Is Cooking.
Yeah, with the long sort of organ intro, it's so epic. They should bring back the one from No Way Out, the No Way Out 2003 one where he goes, "Look at a tongue, look at a tongue, look at a tongue, la 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 la." Anyway, the men's chamber match. Kevin Owens came out first. One of the things I noticed about this match is there was a lot of dick measuring from all the men trying to show off to each other, which I thought was hilarious.
I mean, Drew McIntyre lifted his kilt so that Logan could see.
Yeah, but also like there was a thing where it was obviously Kevin Owens spent the whole match trying to get waiting to get Logan. There was everything, the thing of like standing on each other's pods. That was fucking hilarious. I loved that.
Oh yeah. Randy and Knight doing that was awesome.
Yeah. I honestly had to say, this, in terms of just entrances, this is one of the most entertaining sets of entrances I've seen at a show. Because they just...
Oh, yeah, so fun.
It felt like all the boys were just trying to yank each other's chain, and I think it probably...
like us doing LPW. Like,
it really is like LPW, isn't it? And I think it's
probably... just having fun.
You'd smash your face into the chamber like a rabid dog, like Kevin Owens.
It probably helps that Logan Paul was involved because that's his personality, and everyone was trying to match his personality.
That was hilarious.
Drawings in the pod were awesome.
Oh yeah, he drew
the fact that he did
a fat drawing of Kevin Owens, and then he said, "This is scale."
He had to do it backwards so that the camera could see it as well.
Yeah, he's like, "This is Kevin Owens," and it was just a fat stick man. And then Kevin Owens runs in and like smashes his head against the walls of the chamber.
That was great. And when was it Bobby bouncing Drew off the chamber and Kevin Owens was punching back?
Yeah,
from inside the chamber.
I loved that. I fucking loved that. That was so creative. Regan, I assumed you would have seen this with good vision, like when Randy Orton stood on top of the.
When he was standing on top, where I was sitting, he would have been in front of me to the right, so I could see, like when he was facing the crowd, I could see his face.
Yeah, that would have been cool to see. Actually,
that was nice. And when Triple H came out for that announcement, actually, that was awesome as well. But yeah, during the chamber match, that was great.
Yeah, but yeah, just
go off the pod. Yeah, Logan did.
Yeah, Logan did. But just like the egotistical testosterone in this match was fucking hilarious. It was so entertaining. Just seeing them all just like be so sarcastic with each other.
Maybe because it wasn't in America, they didn't have to be as strict, or I don't know, because of Triple H. But it was good.
I think they would have done it anyway. I just think there was
just tell they would.
I just feel like there was just something in the air that night, and they all wanted to just have fun with it, with those guys, and it made for a great thing.
Good mixture of guys. I think with Drew, Randy, Owens, and Knight, especially, they're all very flamboyant in their own way.
Especially since Drew has turned heel. He's the biggest hater in WWE. It's fucking so funny.
Awesome. He drew the mustache on Cody Rhodes. Do you see the photo going around, and it's him looking at him, and then in the next shot, it's like he drew the Stardust mask on him.
Yeah. It's so funny. He's so funny. He's like an internet troll as a wrestler.
It kind of felt out of place with Bobby being there.
Yeah, so I imagine that he replaced CM Punk.
Does it feel the same for you?
I think he was the replacement for CM Punk. The main reason why it's out of place is that he's in a feud with the Final Testament, and none of them were there. Like, I knew that they weren't going to run in either because Karrion Kross was in holiday in Thailand with Scarlett at the moment.
Yeah, he was.
At best, the Authors of Pain may have been there, but they weren't.
Dude, that it's AJ also Styles run-in.
Yeah, there's also a Styles run-in. You didn't want to overdo
it. That AJ Styles run-in, oh my god. Nobody obviously saw that.
He flew all the way to Perth just to attack
smack him with a chair.
Yeah.
That was great. He is, oh my god, I can't believe how, compared to when I saw him live in person and shook his hand, got a photo with him, to what he looks like now, the muscle that he put on.
Yeah, it's weird that you've seen AJ Styles twice in person now.
It's like a completely, well, I guess 3 times.
Technically, yeah, because you saw him twice in one day in 2016.
At the meet and greet. my photos somewhere with him. I wore to the press conference. I wore my John Cena signed.
Oh yeah,
my
Callum,
AJ Styles signed John Cena shirt.
I don't know if I've told you this, Callum, but Styles was feuding with Cena at the time, and Regan got him to sign John Cena merchandise. He got Styles to sign Cena merchandise, who he was feuding with.
The yellow Cena shirt. I got him to sign that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I have to say,
was he face or heel at the point? Was it before after Money in the Bank?
So I think it would have been after Money in the Bank, before SummerSlam.
Yeah. Right, he would have just turned heel or about to.
Yeah, he was just about to turn heel.
Oh,
yeah, that
running
was so great.
You did that after he turned heel. Oh.
Yeah, he was on.
And he couldn't say no that he didn't want to sign it.
I remember. I think it's just about, and the reason why I say that is that he didn't come out with the Good Brothers. They weren't there.
He didn't shout, "Beat up John Cena."
Nah.
Who did he have a match with? I can't remember.
He had a match with Cena.
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
What?
It was Styles versus Cena.
Oh wow.
God, my memory is shocking.
Yeah, they had a so you got him to sign merchandise of the guy he was wrestling that night.
Shit, I didn't even remember. I can't even remember that.
It was. Yeah, I remember it well. It was Styles versus Cena, Bella versus Jericho, Reigns versus Rollins. All the baby faces won mostly, except for Cena won.
The Roman Reigns match was great. There was of course, because we're in New Zealand, there was Pollies everywhere.
Polynesians.
Sitting in front of us, there was a family of them.
Samoans everywhere.
And I was just going, fuck you, Roman, so much. And these parents turned around, look at us.
Yeah, because they had their kids there. Because we were in the cheap seats where the families were, and they were all like...
The guys are looking at me. The guys are looking at me like, shut up. Like, you're going to start a fight. And I'm just I had this
little 10-year-old say, if I see Seth Rollins, I'm going to punch her in the face. And the dad's like, no, you won't do that. That's rude. And I just kept saying, F you, Roman. And these it was so cringe.
They're looking at me going, dude, shut up.
It was cringe because I was... It was cringe because I was hoping for a smarky crowd, but it wasn't. It was family.
Yeah, and they all loved Roman, obviously. And I was like, he only won because he's Samoan. Like...
If I took my 10-year-old son to a wrestling show and they said, I want to punch Seth Rollins, who's a heel at the time, then I'd be like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. He's awful.
Well, you know what? You know what I would have said? I said, well, I want to punch Roman Reigns.
And it was hilarious. Even when we walked out of the arena, I was still saying F you, Roman, and all these families were turning around looking at me.
Yeah, it was hilarious. The only heel that won from memory was Braun Strowman. I think he had a squash match.
He was big at the time. Yeah, he just had his whole... Oh, no, but was it before or after?
Yeah, it was after.
That was before the brand split?
After. Just after.
Are you sure?
Yep, just after. It was after Battleground.
No, Money in the Bank was before Battleground, and it was in the build-up to SummerSlam.
I think, actually, you might be right that Styles did just turn heel, now that I remember.
Yeah, because
they had the six-man tag, yeah. They had the six-man tag, and he was heel by then. Yeah, you're right. It was the event was after Battleground, before SummerSlam.
Yeah, it would have been just before they did the brand split.
It was in July. It was July 2016.
Okay, let me check then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was July, unless it was August. Oof. WWE New Zealand 2016.
God, I can't remember.
I had the ticket somewhere. I could look at it. 10/8. Oh no, it was August. Wasn't it? Yeah, Jesus, it was August. 10th of August 2016. Well, there you go then.
Yeah, there you go. It was after the brand split. Yeah, because July 25th was the first brand split Raw.
Gotcha.
Debut.
That's right. So it would have been August.
Yeah, it was brand split and heel.
So Styles was heel then. Yeah.
So that would have been just Braun coming into his own.
Yeah. WWE NZ 2016.
Wait, is he still there?
Strowman, yeah, he left and came back. Vince fired him and Triple H brought him back.
Didn't that happen for a lot of people?
Yes, that's very true. Happened with Karrion Kross.
Vince fired them and he brought them all back.
Happened with Karrion Kross. Happened with Tegan Knox. Happened with Michin. Happened with Bray Wyatt before he passed away.
Hit Row.
All Well, to be fair, he didn't bring back Swerve. It was actually the good part of Hit Row.
Yeah.
That's because AEW snatched him, and now he's one of the biggest stars.
And Top Dollar got released again.
Yeah. So here we go. So I'm just going to read this to you, Regan, so you remember the results from that show we went to. Apollo Crews defeated Sheamus with a roll-up. And Sheamus did like the kiss my ass thing when he left the ring because he was pissed off.
Yeah.
Now this is weird. Braun Strowman squashed Jey Uso, which is strange because Jey Uso is a main eventer now. Yeah.
That is very strange.
And then
never interacted ever.
And then after the match, Braun was attacking Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso came out and they did a double super kick.
Send the crowd happy.
The New Day beat Gallows and Anderson.
They were still heels at the time?
Yeah. Oh no. Gallows and Anderson were heel, New Day was face.
Oh, were they face at that point?
Yeah, 2016 they were face, yeah. They turned face. They turned face shortly before Mania because Mania was when they had the cereal box entrance.
Yes.
2015 was their heel run.
SummerSlam 2015.
I still have a box of Bootios.
Yeah, Balor beat Jericho. That was the highlight of the night. It was amazing with the promo. Awesome Jericho's promo was so good.
Great match. Yeah.
Rusev beat Titus O'Neil. That was the other heel win. Cena beat Styles. And Sasha Banks retained over Charlotte. And then Sami Zayn beat Kevin Owens, and then Reigns beat Rollins.
Which we all knew was going to happen.
Yeah, it was very
so he has actually beating him, but in house shows, which is non-canon.
Yeah, they I mean, all the house shows are the same matches. That's just the same show repeated over and over again.
But I didn't know he actually has beaten him at a house show before.
Yeah.
Well, especially there was no way Roman was losing.
But house shows are only canon when the TV show acknowledges them, like when Samoa Joe won the NXT title off Finn Balor.
Yeah, when things actually happened.
Yeah, or when Primo and Epico won the tag belts, or when Diesel pinned Bob Backlund at a house show for the WWE title,
or when quite recently Shotzi pinned the NXT Women's Champion, and then got a tire match, but then he got injured in that match.
Yeah, she got a torn ACL. It was Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight to start the men's chamber. These are the two people that Callum thought were going to end the match, but that wasn't to be the case, so you got that wrong.
No, I got that wrong.
And then it was Owens. Regan, watching this live, how was this men's chamber?
The crowd was so dud where I was sitting, but watching it live was great. I've always loved the chamber, so to see that one live.
So compared to the women's match, this had a lot more carnage.
It did. But I thought the women's match was better. But this was great. I mean, seeing Bobby smash McIntyre into the pods.
I think the women's match had more structure to it. It was a bit more like planned.
Yeah.
Whereas the men's match in ring, it was a bit of a cluster. But what made the men's match great was all the taunting and all the conversation they were having to each other.
No, that was good. Yeah,
that was the best part, really.
God, I'm trying to think what happened. Yeah, the running was good.
I basically love what Kevin Owens walked up to Paul's pod and just when you get out, you're getting whooped.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's all. He locked himself in.
I have to say something about this match. So, originally, obviously, Bobby wasn't going to be in it. It was going to be CM Punk. I actually think Bobby Lashley filled in really well in this match. I thought he did a good job. He was quite fun.
He did well, yeah.
Even though storyline-wise, he's not really relevant to the chamber.
Did you see when he took his jacket off and threw it at Kevin Owens? It made Kevin Owens fall down.
Well, he sold it as a joke,
Yeah, of course, but that was
funny.
Hilarious.
One of the funniest moments of this match is that when Bobby whacked his arm into the chamber pot, he said, "Fuck!" And they didn't censor it when on the live feed. It was so funny.
They censored it too late.
Yeah, I couldn't hear that. But my goodness, I didn't know he did that.
He's like, "Oh shit, fuck."
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that was funny.
Great reference to Liv Morgan, who did it in 2018.
Yeah. I just have to say, all the lads in this match, they looked like they were just so excited to be in it. They were just having so much fun. And
when Randy kept landing on his back, I was like, "Oh my god, is he actually injured, or is he just playing this? Is he just a really good actor?"
I genuinely think
every time he was holding the small of his back, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Well, he has had back surgery. He has had back surgery.
That's what he just came back from.
And it was career-threatening. The doctors told him not to wrestle. But
exactly.
At the same time, knowing him, I think he's just doing the sell job of a lifetime with this back injury.
He was doing it so well. Every time it was like, "Oh my god."
You know,
he's out.
It's interesting.
He's done.
It's interesting. There was a period of time in the mid-2010s when it felt like Randy Orton was getting really stale and he was kind of losing himself a bit, and like people stopped caring about Randy Orton. But ever since the pandemic, he's just found a different gear, and he's been so much fun.
Oh, and seeing him like fall onto his arms and do one of those in person, that was good fun.
Yeah. But I think also the fact that he had that 18-month injury that nearly ended his career, I think he's just grateful that he can wrestle, and he's having.
I would say so.
I think he's just trying to have as much fun as he can before it's over.
And especially at the press conference when he was like, "I'm never leaving you guys. I'm not going to Hollywood. I'm not one of those people."
Yeah, he's WWE for life, Randy Orton.
Yep. No.
He wants to wrestle until he's 50, he said. I don't know if he'll last it.
He said he wants to have a match for the title at WrestleMania against Cena.
I honestly think that with Cena's, like, what's happened to his body and how he can't wrestle much anymore, I actually think if Randy Orton was the one to beat Flair's record, I think that would actually be better than Cena at this point, because I think he can last longer. And he is younger than Cena.
He's also there all the time, so...
Yeah, he's full-time and he's younger than Cena. And he unlike Cena, he's still, even though he is older and he's really broken his body, he can still go. He's up to, was it 14 or 15 now?
14. He's a 14-time.
Yeah.
So he'd have to win it, what, 3 more times?
3 more times in about 6 or 7 years? It's possible.
Yeah, could he do it? He could.
I mean, no one thought he was going to win after his second-to-last reign, but then, when he lost it to Jinder. But then, he had that 1-month reign against McIntyre in 2020, and that was after he had really found himself again, and he did really well.
As long as he wins it and keeps it for a while.
I think the biggest shame with Randy Orton is that he was supposed to have a match with Matt Riddle at WrestleMania, and Matt Riddle got fired.
Oh, that's the drug guy, right?
Yeah.
The weed guy.
Yeah, the weed guy. He's the latest in the line. He's not only weed, it's like he gets caught like at airports being a scumbag, and then
what an idiot.
Cheats on his wife, gets porn stars pregnant. Like, he's just a mess.
When you work for a company like that, you can't be doing that.
Well, he's self-aware of it. He understands. He understands that he's a mess. That's just who he is. And it also doesn't help that their merger with the UFC have basically blacklisted him. He failed so many drug tests when he was in the UFC.
What an idiot.
Well, he is who he is. He's a wild animal. But yeah, no, Randy Orton's been great fun lately.
Everyone knew there was something happening. Something was up because we could see Logan hadn't gone out of the ring, and it was like, well, hang on.
I will say
everybody else has gone straight out of the ring. What's happening here?
I will say, as cool as it is to see them break the chamber pod windows, it just isn't the same as it was back in the noughties when it looked like actual glass shattering.
Yeah, now it's plastic. I mean, it just looks like
the famous one
smash or anything.
The famous one is when Goldberg speared Jericho through the chamber window in 2003. That was a great moment. But yeah, like they say it's bulletproof glass, and it is, but that the framing is really loose, so they just blast through it.
Yeah, it just pops out. It doesn't really look like anything. If it was the glass that like Kurt Angle threw.
Oh my God, Shane! Oh my Jesus, King of the Ring!
If it was that kind of stuff,
fucking hell,
then it would look more cool when they throw them.
Well, that was a different time with different health and safety standards. Let's just say that.
Yeah, of course, you can't do that now with their PG. But
yeah, I think Bobby Lashley did a great job of selling the injured arm as well after that. Yeah, Callum, what was your sort of I don't know if I've really gotten your take. Like, did you rate this match? Did you like it?
I thought this match was really good. Yeah. I really liked this match. I think while the women's one felt structured, this felt very physical and chaotic, but in a way that I really enjoyed.
I think it was good that they were different. Having the chamber matches be different on the same show is kind of ideal, isn't it?
I think there was an element of entertainment, like we said, with all the competitors. It was so fun. I think once we got to the final three, mostly when it became clear that both Randy and Drew were sort of the main endpoints, it became very much about Randy's selling and sort of Drew's character, which I really enjoyed. I feel that's the sort of part of the match that I feel has gone a bit underappreciated.
Yeah, it's true. They did really well at that.
That off-screen RKO was brilliant.
Loved it. The camera work was perfect.
It was great because we saw him coming, but obviously on the camera you didn't, and it was
for us it was awesome.
Chef's kiss. Yeah, it was great.
Was amazing.
Pumping the knuckles, and then
because it was done to Logan Paul, it's a social media natural moment, really. Because RKOs were a famous social media thing, like even pre-Logan Paul era.
Oh, there was a clip. There was somebody put it. I think Logan put a clip on his Twitter. Him from 2018 with the watch out, like RKOing someone into the pool. He was like then and now, and then it was
with Logan Paul being a fan of Randy Orton's RKO, it's kind of cool that he got to be in one. Because also the other thing they built up over the last year is the brass knuckles. Logan Paul uses them in every match, and then this one, he didn't get to use them because he was RKO before he could use it.
Well, and then he used them and whacked the shit out of Randy. So, do you think they'll have a match at Mania?
Probably. Yeah.
Which that match will be really good. It will be very good, and it'll be very entertaining. I just would have preferred Knight against Paul for the title.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's just a result, again, as I said, Matt Riddle being fired has taken away Randy's match. So they've changed it around.
Oh, yeah, I guess it'll be a title match if they have a match at Mania.
Yeah, I wanted to see... I think in a perfect world, we would have seen Punk versus Seth. We would have... maybe a triple threat with Drew. We would have seen, obviously, Cody versus Roman. And also... we would have seen LA Knight versus Logan Paul and Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle. I think that would have been the best version of WrestleMania.
I think not going with Knight, because the thing with I feel like Knight because he wasn't at Mania last year, he had nothing to do, which is really weird because he was still on the rise at that point. He wasn't as over as he was during the summer. But still was very popular.
I remember he had the feud with Bray Wyatt, and then Bray Wyatt fell ill. He got COVID.
Yeah. But it feels like that this year they had to do something big, and a match with AJ Styles at Mania is big. I'm not as confident that match will be as good as they're hoping for.
Well, it's not as high profile, is what you mean.
No.
The other thing is that having LA Knight and Logan Paul do promos would have been great to see. Maybe they'll do it at SummerSlam. Or Money in the Bank or something like that. Or Saudi Arabia.
I think they need to pull the trigger on Knight as champion at some point.
Do you think, Callum, that they should have Logan Paul beat Randy Orton?
I don't think Randy will take the title.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, I actually don't know who would win that.
I don't think he will take the US title.
Because I feel like LA Knight should beat Logan Paul for the belt, not Randy Orton.
Because him keeping the belt at Mania is going to be so good for social media.
Anyway, another thing I wanted to mention, there's a few things I wanted to mention. So firstly, there was a part I was really scared because the head of a chair, the sharp edge was pointing up, and Styles did a Styles clash to LA Knight with his belly on the chair, and I was scared he was going to get sliced open.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I noticed it. The other thing I want to say about the psychology of this match is they gave really good reasons as to why each person was eliminated. So with Owens, it's because he was so preoccupied with Logan Paul hatred that he got overwhelmed. With Lashley, it was by spearing through the chamber wall. It messed up his already messed up arm. And with Paul, it was going for the brass knucks, being distracted, the RKO on top of being destroyed by the chamber wall, as well as diving off the top. With Randy Orton, he has the injured back. So yeah, they just used really good psychology for why each person lost within the match, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That Claymore kick looks so brutal.
Yeah,
it's so good.
He started doing it on the Indies after he left WWE 2014. It's a
ramped up brogue kick.
It's a much more, I think, accessible finisher for him to do than the Future Shock DDT. But now after the Royal Rumble, the Future Shock is a dangerous move because it injured CM Punk's tricep.
Oh, and at the start when Drew tried to do the GTS to LA Knight.
Oh, that was funny.
So good.
I was hoping he was gonna, because he didn't get it, did he?
The CM Punk trolling Drew has done. I mean, you haven't seen Raw.
If he'd actually hit it, that would have been great.
You haven't seen Raw yet, Regan, but he makes a good reference to CM Punk.
I'm gonna watch it after this.
It's so funny. He's the biggest CM Punk hater.
Well, I mean, that T-shirt he made was hilarious. The fact that they actually sold that.
CM Punk's main event 2024 to 2024, and he's smiling by the grave.
Yeah, I can't believe they actually made that. That's great. That's
so funny.
Hilarious.
So funny.
Great marketing.
Great marketing. Yeah, and then of course, off the
pyro that he got for winning. Woo.
Yeah, when you beat, as he said on Twitter, if you beat Cody, you get a portion of the budget of his pyro.
That's right.
And I saw somewhere someone being like, "This is what happens when Triple H is in charge. He makes it look like the guy that won Elimination Chamber is important, and he gets Mania pyro."
That's true, but the thing
which you should be.
He's right about that. The thing he isn't doing is he isn't making the winner of the Women's Rumble important. That's what he should be doing.
That's a damn shame. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing he's missing.
I guess because people are paying more attention to the guys.
No, because Becky Lynch won the Women's Chamber and she's getting lots of attention.
Yeah, I guess so. But she's overrated, right? She's overpushed.
It just hasn't been enough.
She's overpushed.
Literally, Becky Lynch is one of the best women's wrestlers of all time, like top 5.
I know, I'm just being a smartass. No, she's overpushed.
Obviously. She's overpushed because she wins matches.
Yep, it was Tiffy time.
Tiffy will have her time down the line.
If she wins the briefcase, that'll be good.
Hey, if she beats Bianca's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, that would be huge.
Wait, but she lost in the one-on-one matches is what the streak is for, is it?
Well, she's had 3 matches at Mania and she's won.
She's had 3 streak is at WrestleMania, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's 3-0. I mean, technically, didn't she help the Street Profits win at Mania 36?
She wasn't part of the match, but she did help.
If you count that, it's 4-0. She helped her.
No one does.
She helped.
As long as it doesn't get to 21-0.
It won't. I think she needs to lose at this Mania. I think now's the time.
It's Tiffy time.
Either have Tiffany beat her or have Jade Cargill beat her.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised she wasn't in the chamber.
Nah,
I'm not, because she doesn't need to be in the chamber.
I don't think they wanted to. I don't think they wanted to. They don't want to have her pinned yet.
Oh, true. Yeah, and I guess she doesn't need that to get a world title picture.
Well, Jade Cargill's entire appeal in AEW is that she was undefeated for ages. She basically had a Goldberg run.
Right, so when she wins the title, she's never losing it.
Maybe. It depends how they book her. But in AEW, she had a Goldberg run, and then she lost 2 matches and then left. Both to Statlander, actually, who's also a great wrestler.
Yeah. But yeah, Drew winning was the right choice, 100%.
Yeah. I know you wanted to see Randy Orton win, Regan. And
I wanted to see Randy because that's also what Seth said at the press conference. He's like, well, that would have been another great match.
It would have been a rematch of 31, and you could have had Seth win this time, I guess. But
that's what Seth wanted. But
if they did that, if they had done that match, they could have teased the curb stomp RKO spot, and then he could have reversed it. That would have been a great callback. From 9 years earlier. That was 9 years ago. Can you believe that was 9 years ago?
That was a great spot at that match. Incredible for him to flick him up like that, and
It's genuinely one of the most insane things I've ever seen in wrestling. It's like so perfect.
The fact that they didn't even practice it, right?
But what I mean is that okay, yeah, there's some indie fit athletes that could do a curb stomp RKO, but the way they did it was so the timing and the execution, like it was so on point. Like, it's like you could not have done it better. You could not have done it better.
And then for him to go and win the world title as well.
Yeah, that's true.
The heist of the century.
Yeah. So, shall we talk about Nia Jax main eventing a stadium show? Something that if you told me 1 year ago, I would have said you're a massive liar.
Oh my lord, the reception that Rhea Ripley got.
We had Triple H announce the attendance. Thankfully, he didn't do a full entrance and take up everyone's time.
Yeah. Even when he entered there, everyone went nuts.
To be fair, this wasn't a Triple H entrance. This was a Paul Levesque entrance.
Yeah,
it did.
Even at the press conference. At the press conference when he came out and played King of Kings, the whole place was singing it.
Paul Levesque is a lot more humble than Triple H.
Everyone was saying "bow down."
Bow down to the king.
I hope they come. I think they'll come back to maybe not Perth, but they might come back to Australia. I would say.
So number one, I hope that this number's real, and number two, I hope that going forward, the WWE actually starts using real attendance numbers.
No, that's definitely a real number because Optus Stadium, I think Optus Stadium fits 45 when it's an AFL match. Obviously you can't put people on the floor, so that's definitely a real number.
I'm really sick and tired of the kayfabe numbers. It was a Vince thing, and it's just stupid.
Yeah, there's no, don't bother. People know how well you do. Just give them the real number.
Just tell them the truth. The number they actually did is really impressive. Just tell them the truth.
No, 52,000 was definitely the real number.
52,000 for Western Australia. That's huge.
The most Western country in the world. It's the most isolated city in the world.
Yeah, it is.
It's. I think it's a 5-hour.
Well, you would have had people
6-hour drive to Adelaide. Oh, there were people from the States there.
Yeah, there were people. I mean, there were people.
I heard so many Yanks.
Yeah, but as I said, there were people from Sydney, people from Brisbane, people from the Gold Coast, people from Melbourne, people from Adelaide. There were Kiwis there. Like, there was so many people there, and it was in Perth. Like, it's an interesting choice, but they did it. They pulled it off.
Tourism WA paid a lot of money to get it there.
That's right, they did.
But the packages that they were shown in the in the kickoff show, with all the videos advertising stuff to do here, it should bring a lot of money back into the country.
But as I know, because I visited Perth last year for your wedding, it's a great place to go for a holiday.
It's beautiful.
Rottnest Island especially is.
They all went to see the Quackers. Yep.
Yeah. I imagine there was a lot of WWE fans at Rottnest Island.
Was it Michael Cole or Corey Graves? I think Corey Graves in the press conference said, like, there was 20 minutes where I thought I should move here.
You know, Michael Cole referenced AFL. He talked about Aussie rules football on commentary.
He did. Yeah, he talked about it at the press conference as well. Yeah,
and cricket as well.
Well, he said and it's like Triple H said as well. He was right when he said it's a new stadium. I think it only opened just before COVID.
It's a great venue, and I love the camera shots of outside the stadium showing the city. It looked amazing. The production value on the show, by the way, was impeccable. It was actually crazy, except for one botch. There was one botch in the men's chamber.
In the men's chamber when they fucked up the countdown.
Yeah, the countdown came on the screen in a big size.
Dude, could you hear everybody booing and saying, "You fucked up, you fucked up"?
Yes. Yeah.
The security standing around must have thought, God, these people are absolutely weirdos. Because everyone was saying you fucked up and booing because they messed. And then at some point they had to turn all the screens turned off so you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
Because I had to remember I was sitting there live, because you look up at the screen and then you're like, wait a minute, look down and actually look at the ring.
Yep.
I forgot that I was there.
So they had Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley main event the show.
That was the right call for sure.
It was, but again, it was ballsy. It is still in 2024. This is a ballsy move. But in terms of booking, I have to say I still think Nia Jax has issues as a talent, and she always has done. She's improved, but I still think she has some issues. But in terms of her booking, they've actually done and creatively, I think they've done a pretty good job with her recently, building her up as a monster heel. But obviously, the reason why this main event of the show is because of Rhea Bloody Ripley, who's arguably the biggest star in women's wrestling at the moment.
She's great.
Yeah, she is the total package: personality, athleticism, look.
I didn't realize she was engaged to Buddy Murphy.
She is, yeah. They referenced her in an AEW rap from Max Caster. They referenced it.
She was great. When the match finished, when the match finished and the cameras went off, she had about 10 minutes just in the ring, thanking everybody, crying. She was
everyone
jumped in with her family.
I remember about last year, everyone was calling Buddy Matthews a cuck for Dominic. But yeah,
well, I thought they were actually going out, but obviously it's just on screen, like really good chemistry.
Dom's also engaged to someone.
Dom's engaged, yeah.
They're obviously just really good actors. I mean, they're doing their part.
I think they're just really close. I think through this gimmick, they've become very close.
Well, they're also the same age, right? So that's
similar.
Probably
that's weird to think about, isn't it? It's weird to think that they're similar age.
It is strange. I don't seem it really.
Yeah, but I forget how young Rhea Ripley is. I forget how young she is. Now,
she already feels so
I have to say, we talked before about Seth's belt. Rhea Ripley has the same design. I think her belt looks better with the white strap and that logo.
White strap always is fucking good.
Yeah,
I'm just glad they don't have the blue and red strap anymore, like they did for the bloody...
Oh god, the pit. What was that? We call it like split. I used to call it like
period blood title.
The period blood title. That's what we called it at SummerSlam 2016. Is the period blood title?
Awful.
Yeah.
And then we always just like say like raspberry jam or whatever.
Yeah, and then it was
strawberry jam.
And then what was it? The Fiend brought in the Kool-Aid title on SmackDown.
Also, I haven't watched it in so long. Why is the tag titles together?
Oh, the Usos won both of them.
Is it because them being separate was just too much? Like there wasn't enough tag teams?
Yeah, but basically. But also, Vince wanted the Bloodline to have all the belts, basically.
Right.
Yeah, and the Usos held the undisputed titles for ages, like a record reign, and then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat them at last year's WrestleMania in the main event of Night 1.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome. One
of the best stories they did.
Yeah, culmination of one of the best storylines in wrestling history, that Sami Zayn Bloodline thing. It was awesome.
Should have been overall, should have been the conclusion, but yes.
Yeah, when it should have been Cody winning the belt, let's be honest. Yeah. Anyway, Rhea Ripley is a star. She has a great entrance. She has a great theme song. She has a great look, great gimmick, great character. She's probably the best thing about the Judgment Day, honestly.
At the moment, yes. And then there's Dom, and then
Well, the thing is with Dom is he can't wrestle as good as Rhea Ripley can.
At the moment, no.
No. But yeah, she was a star.
Beast.
And she was a babyface on this show.
Smartly so, yeah.
Yeah.
She was they very much booked this as she was the babyface and I was the heel.
Yeah.
And that was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, it was a bit like how Saraya was a babyface at All In, even though she's a heel character. Although better than that. So Callum, I've got a question for you, because you've watched more Nia Jax than I have, because I had a time where I dipped out. Is this the best Nia Jax match?
I think it is one of her best. I think she has improved. I think she has gotten better. I'm still not that into her in general. I just don't really care about Nia Jax.
Neither.
But I will say, I think she was good here.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns' cousin.
They definitely, with this match, they did a simple, old school David vs. Goliath fight with this.
I was surprised she was able to lift her up for a finisher.
Oh, Rhea Ripley is strong, Regan. She's jacked.
Yeah, I know, but look at the size of Nia.
Yeah, but look at the size of Rhea.
Have you seen her shoulders? Have you seen her legs? Fucking hell.
Now that's a back.
Yeah, that's a back. Better than Raquel, I think.
Honestly,
she's just she's really good.
Yeah,
hearing the Aussie accent well on an American TV show, it's just strange.
Yeah, but there's lots of
it's good having someone like that there.
But there's just lots of Aussies in wrestling now. It's normal.
Well, it's a nice change. But it's like she said, it shows anyone can do it.
I mean, it was loud for me on TV, but you were in the arena, you're in the stadium, Regan. Rhea Ripley was over.
I didn't have a voice at the end of the night.
But the crowd was hot for Rhea Ripley.
The whole crowd. Oh yeah, everyone was chanting for her, booing the shit out of Nia, swearing at her.
Yep.
No,
yeah, Rhea Ripley
everyone was going for Rhea.
Yeah, I think in terms of like from a technical point of view, this is probably the least impressive match, but they told a really good story. And unlike
it's hard to be technical with Nia.
Well, unlike a lot of Nia Jax matches, there weren't too many botches. I think they kind of played to her strengths in a lot of it.
There was only one or two I remember.
The funniest moment was when she stood on the commentator's chair and did the elbow drop. It looks so terrible.
God. No, it was awful.
I'll tell you what the actual funniest thing about this match was when she landed on her ass and the entire crowd started chanting "My hole."
Oh my god! Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, everyone did.
Yeah, because it was 2021 was the My Hole
when she landed on the apron, right?
My hole.
Yep. Yeah.
I like how they've given Nia Jax the Yokozuna bonsai drop. I think it really suits her.
I would definitely say so.
And also they're leaning into the thing that everyone says about how she's a dangerous wrestler, which is actually real. How she's injured a lot of women.
Connor, it reminded me of it was such a Savannah moment when she when Rhea was in the corner like on it falling down and she turned around and like smacked her ass. I was like, why did that think like that's a Savannah thing to do right there?
Callum, you don't know this, but there was someone from our school called Savannah. She was basically Nia Jax. Like she had the same personality, the same cringe moments. Like it was just. That
instantly when she turned around and did that, I was like, Savannah.
Like just so tone deaf about what people think is cool. Callum, you remember the 2023 Women's Rumble when Nia Jax, they botched her theme and then she came out and did like the DX chop and it was really stupid. That's basically Savannah. So when we say Savannah moment, that's basically what we mean. It's just it's so cringy. Anyway, that's enough bullying our ex-students. So yeah, Nia got heat. This was, as I said, a very old school match. This is the kind of thing you would have gotten like 30 years ago. This felt to me like, I don't know who to compare Rhea Ripley to, but it was, I guess you could say it was kind of akin to like a Hogan Andre or like a Brett versus Yokozuna kind of match. It's similar to that style, the way they structured it and booked it. But Nia has gotten better. She has a bit more ring awareness than she used to have. She uses a lot more submissions these days, which I think suits her style. It's easier for her to, get that over.
That clip went all over Twitter, blew up because of Rhea's ass.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And she had her leg like up on her. Oh, it was just all over Twitter. Everyone being like, "Mommy,
yeah,
with her ass out."
Yeah, mommy's cake. That's right.
And the one with her on the floor. She's on her stomach and she's purposefully like jiggling it. And
I think it's kind of a modern thing that's become popular in the 2020s now.
Blew up Twitter.
Where it's like it's dominant gothic female. It's like a kink now that's really popular. It's like it's actually become a joke.
Those clips just blew up Twitter.
I mean, we have a friend, Evie. She is very into that kind of dominant gothic female mummy type. I think we showed
what she used to look like. Oh, I can't believe the change. Like blonde, like, and now to go look like that.
Yeah, she looks so different.
Completely different. Well, it was a photo, and it was like her sister looks like her when she was in NXT.
Well, the Mae Young Classic, she had long blonde hair.
Sorry, that was the one. It was like her sister looks like her when she was in that tournament.
Yeah, seeing Rhea Ripley in the Mae Young Classic now, it looks cursed. It's just not
there in the crowd.
It's not her personality at all.
Like what she used to look like.
Yeah, it's just so not her personality at all. Whereas this is exactly her personality. I think, yeah, ever since Triple H took over, Rhea Ripley's hit her peak as a personality. She's always been a great wrestler, but as a character and as a performer, she's hit her peak under Triple H.
And how long has she held the title for?
Since last Mania. She beat Charlotte Flair.
Oh, wow.
Because she won the Royal Rumble last year.
Of course, yeah. Do you think she'll keep it at Mania or lose to Becky?
I'm not sure.
I think she could keep it, you know.
Yeah, I think she could keep it.
I think if she loses it, people after how they complained when she won the chamber.
You know, honestly,
say, oh, she's so overpushed.
I have to say with Rhea Ripley, given that the Judgment Day theoretically should end this year, I think she could keep the belt and then she could turn babyface and then face all the heel women.
Yeah, I think she could.
And also, the other thing they could do is they could draft her to SmackDown and have her face everyone she hasn't faced yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then Tiffy Time can cash in and beat her.
Luke Owen suggested this on the Wrestle Talk podcast. A match between Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio could be very interesting.
Oh, yes.
In terms of story.
She had
do those matches?
Well, they had a match with her and Akira Tozawa about a year ago, I think. And it was quite funny because Akira, I mean, it's natural, right? Rhea Ripley's the most dominant female. Akira Tozawa is like the biggest comedy jobber. But you're right.
Group with Chad Gable.
Akira Tozawa. Is he part of the Alpha Academy, Callum? I haven't been paying attention to that.
Yes.
Yeah. He's made his way in. They've had a thing recently of having comedy characters enter factions ever since Sami Zayn was in the Bloodline. They did it with R-Truth and Judgment Day as well.
Oh, that is just hilarious, watching those skits.
Dude, ever since R-Truth came back from his injury where he nearly lost his leg, he's been great. He's having the run of his life.
When he ran out in the Women's Rumble.
I think the only thing that beats the current run he's having is probably when he had that segment with Brock and Paul Heyman.
That was so good.
That was an all-timer when he came out with Brock Lesnar. R-Truth made Brock Lesnar laugh on live TV.
Yeah, that would take a lot.
He cracked Brock Lesnar. That is a talent.
Made him break character.
I love the meme of like he flew to Austria instead of Australia.
Yeah, he flew to Austria and he was like, "Guys, I'm here. Where is everybody? I'm in Austria."
The hotel.
I was expecting him to come out. I was like, maybe he'll come out in the match. Did you make them lose?
Regan, did you watch the Royal Rumble pay-per-view?
I did. I watched the Rumble when he ran out into the women's match.
That he ran out at the same number he was supposed to run out in the men's match. It was fucking hilarious.
That was hilarious when he ran out into the women's match, and
I think
he must have taken somebody's spot.
I think with Vince gone, I think his humor's only gotten even better because he's been allowed full creative free. Like some of the Vince stuff can get a little corny and a little cringe, but with R-Truth, with Triple H, I think he's actually stepped it up even more. And it's allowed him to really just do it. I mean, as I said, we talked before about how people like Raquel and Randy Orton, they're just enjoying their time because they've been through some hard stuff. It's the same thing with R-Truth. That guy nearly lost his leg after that injury.
He's been there for so long, so now he's probably just
he's in his 50s too. He's in his 50s now. He's so old.
He's in his 50s. He doesn't look it.
He's jacked. He's like ripped in the stomach, and he's 50. It's crazy. He's still a great athlete.
Truth over that other guy that's in the Judgment Day.
Well, which one? JD McDonough. Yeah. He's the Klingon because he's like Finn Balor's little brother.
When Truth gave him the money from the T-shirt sales and made him lose.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Yeah. I mean, if SummerSlam was all like a Judgment Day implosion show where it was like Finn Balor versus Damian Priest and Rhea versus Dom, that would be hilarious. Imagine if JD McDonough is just like, no, stay together. I'll have nothing without you guys. Like he feels like his career's gonna go down the toilet if the Judgment Day.
It can just be him and Truth. Tag team.
Yeah, R-Truth goes up to JD. Is just like, well, you still got me, brother. Still got me.
But yeah, that main event was great. When the cameras turned off,
Yeah,
they kept her in the ring for like 10 minutes.
I think Callum's onto something. I think if the Judgment Day lose the belts to the Awesome Truth at Mania, that'll be the beginning of the end of the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
They've been teasing it for ages.
Well, they've been going for a while, haven't they?
Oh yeah, since WrestleMania 38, is it?
Yes, so since when?
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, since Priest joined forces with Edge.
Yeah, it was. Well, Edge had a match with AJ Styles, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Rhea Ripley joined, and then
now surely you two both had Rhea to win, right?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
There was no way she was losing.
The results of this show were very predictable for us, but it was still a good show despite that.
I know. I figured no one was dropping their title. The main event was. Great.
I think as a match in isolation, it was a solid match. But I think what made it fun to watch was the crowd was so hot for it.
Oh, the crowd made that pay-per-view. It was great.
Yeah. This is why it's Triple H is smart for doing all these international shows, as the crowds are so hot.
Isn't there going to be one after Mania somewhere in Europe?
Germany, I think.
Yeah, in Germany.
I saw that.
Unfortunately,
will it be Backlash?
Unfortunately,
Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, Bash in Berlin. That's the one.
Huh?
And France, actually. Backlash in France, actually, yes.
Yeah, Backlash in France.
Yeah,
Bash in Berlin and Germany. Unfortunately, the only international one that doesn't have a hot crowd is Saudi Arabia, which is a shame.
Well,
they go there twice a year.
Really?
Mm.
They have to.
Even now, still with Vince gone.
The contract hasn't run out.
Oh Christ! Well, I guess it's getting them a lot of money.
It is. They get paid $750 million a year for that deal. It's a lot of money.
I wouldn't turn that down.
It was like 10 years, wasn't it?
You know the Saudi prince wanted to buy WWE.
Yeah, thank God they didn't let that happen.
Yeah,
thank God.
As bad as those people are, you wouldn't say no to the money.
And I have to say this: the one thing I always say about WWE pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever. I always say this about this: make sure there's a good stage, and there was. It was a good stage.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen it. I'll have to watch the pay-per-view back so I can hear the commentators. And
you should watch the show back. The presentation of the show was really good.
I will. Camera. I'll watch it back because I want to hear the people talking and see the people walk down
I think
the ring.
Genuinely, I think it will for you have a lot of rewatch value because the presentation was genuinely great. And I think ever since Kevin Dunn has left, they made a lot of improvements in some areas.
That's what I keep seeing on Twitter, that it's so much better once he's left.
I loved how at the end of the show, Rhea Ripley sat by her family, and literally her family is the most, especially her dad, is like the most Aussie-looking family.
Oh, I know. That was so nice for her that her family was there. She was trying not to cry because obviously she's the heel, but
you
can let her get away with it while she's at home.
Yeah, but no, genuinely, I think this was a great show.
It would have been cool if they had done Raw here, but
yeah, that's different. That's why they had it on a Saturday.
To get back on a 20-hour plane on the Sunday to then do Raw on the Monday is just...
when you watch Raw, you'll get to hear Drew McIntyre talk about jet lag.
It would be. It'd be a hell of a jet lag.
Yeah. So yeah,
outside of the Monday.
Outside of the predictability of the results and CM Punk being cut from the show, and on top of that, the loss of Brock versus Dom, which I think would have been hilarious. The lack of Bronson Reed versus Rollins, because it'd been great to see him on the show get a big reaction. And the Slim Jim countdown and the big botch and Nia Jax's botching. Outside of those like little criticisms, I thought this was a great show. I really liked it. Really solid stuff. Would you both agree?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Being there in person was great.
Yeah, I'd probably say this is the number I have in my head. If I was to give a rating, it's probably like a solid 8 out of 10 show for me. It was really great. Not like
7 or 8.
Yeah, not like an all-timer because of the predictability of it and some of the small issues, but it was just a notch below like the really legendary shows, I think. You know, obviously there's different leagues. Like when you get to stuff like, you know, WrestleMania X7, like that's when you get to like the 10s, and it's not quite at that level.
But if you're ranking it out of chamber pay-per-views, at least they came out every 5 minutes. So.
That's a very good point, actually. Where would this rank among chamber pay-per-views? I'd say it's probably up there.
It's not bad.
Yeah, are we including when No Way Out had the chamber? I think we should, because I feel like 2009 is up there just for the Edge story, with him losing one chamber and winning the other.
Thank God they stopped doing the bloody tag team chamber matches. Yeah, because that was too much. That was such a clusterfuck.
The 2010 chamber had the one where it was Shawn Michaels comes out from under the chamber to screw the Undertaker, and Jericho wins the title. That was great. Though
what
it
about
also
the one where Santino nearly won.
Oh yeah, true. 20. Well, I have the only problem with that though is the Raw chamber for 2012 was terrible. That was the one where it like Jericho didn't even get beaten. It was so pointless. They just fell out of the chamber and it ended.
Again, with stuff like that where it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but the SmackDown one with Daniel Bryan and Santino, that was great. But yeah,
everyone was chanting for him actually at the press conference. Everyone was chanting for Santino Marella.
I think I remember the 2011 one. Both chambers are quite good. The SmackDown one was the Edge and Mysterio chamber where they started and ended it, and then the Raw one had like Cena, CM Punk, and a bunch of others in there. That was sort of around the new Nexus angle, which was I remember Callum, the 2017 one, the SmackDown one, where Bray Wyatt won the chamber. That was a good show. And that was also what did Naomi win, or did she already have the belt by then? I think she may have beaten Bliss for the title on that show. I can't remember.
I watched that pay-per-view because I remember, with that chamber with Orton and Wyatt.
Yeah.
Was that when Cena was the champ?
Yeah, he was. He went into the champ.
He was like he lost at first, right?
He
got eliminated straight away as the champ.
It was a transitional champion. He beat Styles and lost to Bray Wyatt, and then Bray Wyatt lost it to Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton lost it to Jinder.
Oh Christ!
Not Jinder lost bloody to Styles.
Modern day
Jinder lost it back to Styles. Yeah.
Oh God! Just to try and get into the Indian market.
That's right.
Yeah. I think that's when I dropped off.
Yeah, same. It was when
Jinder had the title.
When Jinder had the title, man, that was rough. It was rough.
That's when I dropped off.
I remember we watched
prison match.
We watched Mania 34 the next year, and I was just like, I just don't care about this product anymore. This is so stale.
Was that when it started to go like 6 hours?
5 hours.
And that was just too much.
Well, 32 was the first one that was 5 hours. 33 was also 5 hours. 34...
Was that the one we watched at Finn Jensen's? Was that the last one we watched?
No. So 32 was Finn Jensen's. 33 was yours. 34 was Alex's house.
And that was just 5 hours is just too much.
The main event of 34 was Brock versus Roman, and it was absolutely abysmal. It's one of the worst matches I think I've ever seen. It was just a finish a spam fest, and then after the match, Brock threw the belt at Vince. And he said, "Asshole." What? Yep, there's a video
like when of it. When he went out back through the curtain.
Yeah, there's a famous video of it, and behind the scenes, he throws the belt at Vince because the match was so shit, and the crowd booed them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was appalling. Like, it was an appalling main event. And I think we were all sick of it because the previous 2 years, you know, we had Roman versus Triple H and Roman versus Taker, and both of those matches sucked as well.
Too much.
The only highlight of Roman versus Triple H was when he speared Stephanie. That was hilarious. Yeah, we were just sick of Reigns by then. Unfortunately, that was the year his leukemia came back. That was sad.
God, and they tried to make Ambrose do that pay-per-view, like that promo about him talking about him having leukemia.
It was so disgraceful that he went to AEW.
And that's when he'd had enough.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. He's like, nah, that's it, I'm out. And now he's
what a thing to do, like to say here's your best friend, talk about his cancer.
Vince McMahon unknowingly handed Tony Khan one of his biggest stars by doing that.
Has he been doing well?
100%. Oh yeah, Mox is one of the MVPs of AEW since the start. He's like the constant, like he is the consistent through line through everything. Yeah. Like through the dark times, like in the pandemic, he was the champion and he was the man. And then also after Brawl Out, when CM Punk got injured and had the fight, Moxley was the champion that carried the company through that time. He is the guy who puts the company on his back. He is so good. And his character is way better than Ambrose in WWE. None of the wacky stuff. He has that Steve Austin aura when he comes out and he feels like an actual cool guy.
No more mustard and hot dog.
Although the thing that everyone memes about is that he bleeds in every match.
I mean, isn't that what he did in CZW?
Yeah.
Didn't he like to bleed all the time?
Yeah, because he's a wild animal.
The lunatic fringe.
No, I'm glad he fucking got rid of Wacky Dean when he went to AEW. I hated that.
The Ambrose Asylum match.
It was just like that podcast he did with Jericho where Vince is like, "No, it's you. It's such good shit. You're such good shit."
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
And that triple threat should have been at Mania.
Yeah, well, I mean, the main event of 32 was supposed to be the Shield triple threat, but Rollins got injured and they couldn't do it. So they had to do Reigns versus Triple H, which was shit, and Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar, which was shit. Dean Ambrose
versus Brock.
Oh, that's it. That is a fucking awful match. Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. That's just one I never want to rewatch. It was so disappointing.
Had all those weapons and didn't do a damn thing with them.
Yeah, he had those segments with Mick Foley and Terry Funk before the show, and then he never even used them.
He had their weapons and he didn't use them.
Yeah.
And he just got suplexed onto the pile of chairs.
The only things I like about that show is Zack Ryder winning the IC title and the women's match.
What's that one? Charlotte,
Sasha, Becky. Yeah, except Charlotte won the match when it should have been Sasha. That pissed me off.
Yeah, because she's overbooked.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, unlike Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair is actually overpushed. She gets title matches because she's Charlotte Flair. Yeah, the rest of that show sucked.
Paige made fun of her dead brother.
Fucking hell. That's so stupid. Yeah, that show sucked badly. That had, like, Styles Jericho was really disappointing, and then you had the terrible segment with The Rock coming out, setting his name on fire, then he squashed Eric Rowan.
That was so dumb.
Yeah, that was dumb. And there was no Randy Orton because he was injured. Bray Wyatt was injured. John Cena was injured. He couldn't be on that show. Seth Rollins was injured. It was just cursed. Yeah.
Yikes. Bad times.
Yeah, sucky show. Biggest WWE crowd of all time, but terrible show, man. That genuinely, this is probably a hot take because it has good production values. I think 32 is one of the worst Manias of all time.
I think the one that was shot in 3 locations.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not worse than that. I think WrestleMania 2, 4, and 9, and possibly 11 and 27 are down there. But 32, man, that show fucking it's so awful.
Really bad show.
It's a really bad show.
And 31 are the best for me.
Maybe 29. Best thing
no, not 29.
X7. I know Attitude Era bias,
I've seen
X7 is the best Mania. It's so good. Steve Austin versus The Rock, TLC 2, Vince versus Shane, Benoit versus Angle, I already said TLC 2, Kane, Raven, Big Show, Jericho, Regal, Eddie Test, China, Ivory, the Legends Battle Royale where Iron Sheik can't lose because he can't take a bump. That was fucking hilarious. Undertaker, Triple H, and Right to Censor getting squashed. It was just so fun. And they just bought WCW. It's the peak Attitude Era. It's in Texas. The crowd was hot. Austin turning heel. Like, it was just a fucking amazing show. It almost didn't happen though, because what was it? They nearly ran over the main power cable in the hardcore triple threat.
Yeah. God, that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, the reason I think everyone loves X7 is because it has a bit of everything on it. It's a variety show, has all the best things about wrestling on one show. X8 could have been the best had all the WCW guys came over straight away. Like Goldberg.
But no, they sat at home and got their money, right?
Yeah, they could have done. They could have done Goldberg versus Steve Austin on that show, but they didn't because Goldberg wanted to stay at home.
Stay at home and wait for their contract to run out.
That's right. Yeah.
Sit on the money.
A lot of people say 19's the best Mania, but that show has Triple H versus Booker T, and that's absolutely retarded, stupid, racist booking.
People like you don't deserve to win. People are like you don't win the title.
It also has that really terrible Undertaker A-Train Big Show match where Nathan Jones runs out.
Oh yeah, the Aussie.
Yeah. Yeah, where was Nathan Jones on this show?
People like you don't win the title.
Oh god.
God, anyway, you couldn't say that in 2024.
Anyway, we're going on a bit. Yeah, so overall thoughts on Elimination Chamber, and after that, sort of your hype for WrestleMania now. Callum, go first.
Very good show. Very fun show. Had a lovely time with it. Really exciting, energetic, very brutal at times, and yeah, what a fun show. I'm very excited for Mania. I think there's a lot of things the company's doing really right now in terms of stories. About a month ago, it was a bit bumpy, but they pivoted, and I think I'm very excited for a lot of what's going to be on the show. I think there's a couple things that I personally would have done. I would have done other things, but I still think there will be good stuff from those things. But
yeah,
the excitement.
I think they have been riddled with unfortunate circumstances. Losing CM Punk, Charlotte Flair, and Matt Riddle has really fucked up their plans.
Definitely, but I think they've got a lot of really good stuff on the table right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why since 2020 they've done 2-night Manias, because the roster is just so loaded up and down.
Yeah, that was the only good thing to come from COVID, in terms of for WWE.
Yep. 2-night Manias. Well, I mean, the reason why they're doing it is because it works so well in New Japan with Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
It's good. It gives you a break, because 8 hours would be way too much.
Yeah, I mean, AEW kind of has that, but they're 1 week apart with All In and All Out. And that was amazing last year. That was so awesome. Both of those shows ruled. You had one in Wembley Stadium and then one in Chicago, and that it was just like, it was so good. Both shows were just.
It was so annoying.
Immaculate.
I missed All Out by, I think, a week. I missed it by a couple of weeks. And then I missed the World Cup by a couple of weeks after that.
Oh, you mean All In? Yeah, because you were in the UK.
I was in Europe, so I missed the wrestling, and then I missed the World Cup. Never mind.
I think MJF was in Paris literally a day before after you were in it. That's crazy. Right.
They were just posters everywhere for that one in London.
Yep. Yeah, so in terms of coming up on this wrestling channel, I am very close to finishing editing the first EWAB podcast. That's going to come out very soon. I had fun editing that. Hopefully the copyright thing doesn't hold us back too much. I've tried to squeeze my way around it, 90% opacity and 15-second intervals. But yeah, that'll be coming out very soon. Callum and I, in a couple of days, assumingly, we'll do our predictions for AEW Revolution, which is this weekend, Sting's final match. That should be really exciting, as well as a bunch of other interesting things. And there should be a review of that, and then in about a month's time or so, or slightly more than that, we'll be doing predictions for WrestleMania.
I think it's 40 days away.
40 days till WrestleMania 40.
I think I heard them say 40 days.
Yes.
What, 40 days till night one?
Shit, where did 10 years go?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy reviewing a show that's 8 hours. I've never done that before. I've never reviewed an 8-hour show because it's 2 nights.
Yeah, a weekend's worth of content.
Yeah. And also probably acknowledging the Hall of Fame as well.
Yep. Batista? No, he's already in, isn't he?
No, he was going to be in, but then COVID happened.
But he turned it down because of COVID. So maybe this year.
I don't know. He's just really busy. June 2 is coming out, isn't it? Like they just had the premiere.
June 2, yeah, it's out.
Yeah, I just watched June.
Raunchy popcorn bucket.
I just watched June 1 the other day for the first time, so I'm ready to watch that film at some point soon.
Also, big up Iron Claw if you haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, need to see that.
Yeah. That was
Callum,
really well.
Callum, would you mind waiting till it's digital and we can like react to it together? I'd be keen to do that.
Yeah, that's the plan, definitely.
Yeah, because I think we should react to it on this channel and review it.
I think definitely. I saw that it's already on DVD. No,
yeah,
maybe it's come out online. Maybe that was another movie, but that was really, really, really good.
You know, there's a match coming up way down the line on eWeb, Callum, and I'm fascinated to see if it's in the Iron Claw because it's relevant to that story. We'll have to wait and see if it is.
I won't spoil it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really. I mean, obviously, history, it's based on a real story. I know all about it. When the Von Erichs got inducted to the Hall of Fame, you know, I did lots of research about Kevin Von Erich and his tragedy story.
I had no idea. I had no idea what happened to his brothers. What a horrible thing to endure.
And also that world-class championship wrestling, there were so many major stars that came out of that, like Sting and Shawn Michaels and, you know, huge stars that came out of Texas from there.
But yeah, Chavo did a good job with Efron.
Yeah, Zac Efron, yeah.
Because Chavo was teaching him. Yeah. He had him in the ring.
Yeah, true. Ooh, Chavo. Yeah.
Who was at the Cena was at the premiere. MJF was in the movie. He's an extra.
He was. Yeah.
He's in like a scene for a match.
He's going to be out for a while. He got a lot of injuries during that title reign. He got buggered up.
He got ligma.
Anyway, so yeah, we got lots of exciting stuff to come up on this channel as well as the other channel. I've got stuff loaded and in the can. So yeah, that should be fun. We'll see you all next time. I bid you adieu, a good night, and a goodbye.